bum 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 bum. Where's my phone? What are we watching tonight? Okay, we're live. Where's my phone? No. What are we watching tonight? All right, we're good on that. Okay, we're live. Where's my phone? No. What are we watching tonight? Oh, I got picking it up. I'm picking it up. Okay, we're live. Where's my phone? What are we watching tonight? No. What are we watching tonight? Dances with Wolves or House of a Thousand Corpses? What are we watching tonight? Patrick D, what's up, brunch? What's going on, man? What's going on? House of a Thousand Corpses. What are we watching tonight? What about now? Can you guys hear me now? What's going on, man? Is everyone here? 17 people watching. What's going on, man? What's going on? What's going on, everybody? CH, Home Barrage for Life. We're drinking beer. Brew Milton, what's up? Rasmuth, he's awake, man. What's going on? Josh Jusbrewing, what's going on? Owen Mike, what's going on, everybody? CH, how often do you barrages brew wine? Never, ever. But somebody in here does. What's up, Tom Alvarado? What's going on, everybody? Dawson's Creek, what's up, you brunch? How's my audio? Never, ever. But somebody in here does. What's up, Tom Alvarado? What's going on, everybody? There shouldn't be an echo anymore. How's my audio? We'll go back to. Never, ever. But somebody in here does. What's up, Tom Alvarado? Ryan McAfee. Dos Chavez, what's going on, man? Zach Pearson, ¿cómo estás? Blake, what's up, dude? Michael Wilson. Goose Frabo, what's up? Is there still an echo? Ryan McAfee. Dos Chavez, what's going on, man? Zach Pearson, ¿cómo estás? Blake, what's up, dude? Just got some echo? Michael Wilson. Goose Frabo, what's up? I'll be the judge. Is there still an echo? Ryan McAfee. Dos Chavez, what's going on, man? Zach Pearson, ¿cómo estás? Still an echo? Blake, what's up, dude? Just got some echo? Michael Wilson. Goose Frabo, what's up? I'll be the judge. Is there still an echo? Ryan McAfee. Dos Chavez, what's going on, man? Zach Pearson, ¿cómo estás? Blake, what's up, dude? Just got some echo? Michael Wilson. Goose Frabo, what's up? I'll be the judge. Is there still an echo? Ryan McAfee. Dos Chavez, what's going on, man? Zach Pearson. We're doing this together, man. What's up, Thelonious? What's going on, man? Echo Park. What about now? Echo City? Hey, we back. All right, what's going on, everybody? What's up, Justin Store? We're back to normal? Okay, good. I think I had... Oh, I know what's going on. I have this. All right, what's going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. We got Justin coming on right now. He's in the green room. He's in the waiting room. And it was a good week. It was a great week. Tom, what's going on, man? Connor Pipes. Rasmus. A couple quick things I want to bring up. What's going on in the beer industry. Everything that, all the links are down below. Justin's channel, YouTube channel. He's a YouTuber. If it's a brewer or an owner, I'll probably have a link to their Instagram. He's got his website down there. Discord's going off. And then the link to the broadcast with Justin. Thank you to everybody who was being here. Let us know in the comment section what you guys are drinking. I'll go first. I'm drinking Mirkwood's Maze Hazy IPA from Battle Mage. First time I've had this, and it is delicious. It is perfect. 6.5% though. I'm going to drink 4 of them in the first 5 minutes. Shout out to the super chatters from last week. Thelonious Monk, thank you. Al Bro, Thelonious Monk, thank you. Kurt Pick, thank you, Kurt. Elementary Brian, Brian's the barrage out there in Visalia. Gnome Brewing, thanks, barrage. Gabriel Camp, thank you so much, Gabriel. Thelonious Monk, thank you, barrage. Bob Carl. Apologies if I botched everybody's name. And then Matt Sanderson, thank you. New rules. I'm going through puberty. No back-to-back live streams. We did Wednesday with Apartment Steve and then Thursday with Andy from Canada. Friday morning, I woke up to like a 7-hour stream being processed and I just instantly deleted it. There's no stream that needs to be 7 hours long. So, Cable Hogan, man. Cable, what's up, man? Cable with the super chat. Thank you, Cable, man. I thought he was coming out here to San Diego. Cheers to Cable. Cheers to all the super chatters. And hopefully this stuff is working, and I can't hear anything because it's connected to, I don't know what this is connected to. Let's put this up here. Thank you, Cable Hogan, man. Shout out to you, Braj. The Discord is working really well. There's an industry section that are people posting jobs to. Shout out to Peter, Post with Peter, for getting that going. And shout out to Tom Alvarado. He posted a job. People are posting jobs in LA. People are posting jobs in the Bay Area. Peter posted another one. Tom posted one recently. Check it out. There's a link in the bio. If you're trying to get into the industry, you're trying to get into the front or the back of the house, people are looking out for you. The Discord is rad. It is awesome. It's everybody. I don't even know half the names in there, but everybody's cool. And it's not like you're banking on one guy for a response. Someone will get back to you. A lot of questions, no egos, nobody feels stupid, nobody feel like an idiot. I hate feeling like an idiot. And I don't want anybody to have to feel that way. Homebrew for life, we're getting back into it. No more once a month homebrew for life. There was a new video today that kind of influenced from the podcast with Apartment Brewer. And I don't know if anybody who listened to that one, but he's got homebrewing in his family. He's got homebrewing in his blood. And we were just talking about, what's people buy and how people homebrew from, what it is now to 5+ years ago. It's night and day. So I kind of wanted just to make a video. The video is kind of subjective. I don't want people to be like, damn, I just bought this $1,000 fermenter. I feel bad. It's like, don't feel bad at all. Don't feel bad at all. What up, Lex Steele? Shout out to Lex Steele, man. Thank you for the super chat. Scott Shrewsbury. Cheers, everybody. So that's it. Justin's going to be coming on right now. We did a podcast, broadcast, Spotify, Apple, iTunes. I don't know what the hell the difference is between all these iTunes and Apple Podcasts. Why is it different? Make it the same thing. We're going to be working on 2 videos this weekend. If I don't go on a 4-day bender like I did last weekend. Shout out to Kevin Klumpet. He was my DD on Saturday night, and I needed him. And we went to Helia Brewery, and the Padres were pitching a no-hitter, and we just started slamming 11% stouts. Next thing I know, I'm on the dance floor with a girl twice my age, which is old because I'm 36. Imagine me dancing with a 72-year-old while a band is playing, but there's a TV right above where the band is playing. And I don't know if Kevin's watching this, but just hit me over the head with a bat next time. I'll put it in paper. If I'm dancing with 80-year-old ladies, just slap me over the head with a bat, man. The Apartment Brewer, man, what's going on, brunch? Shout out to the apartment. Shout out to Lex Steele for the super chats. This is kind of cringe. It's kind of cringe getting money like this, but I talked to Trent. I talked to Portly. I talked to Hell's Brews. They said as long as people are donating, don't feel bad. If you're asking for $100 a shout out on a Patreon reoccurring month, it's a little bit different. But thank you, Steve. Our broadcast is up to about 400 views. Justin's was after that, Jusbrewing on YouTube. And then Andy, who he's an old friend. He's not too active on YouTube. And he needed some love. He's kind of Al Bundy, Canadian form, kids, wife, kids. Look at the kids getting shit on. All good fun. That was fun. It just went on too long. I didn't even want to hear. It just gets to dangerous waters. That's why I like when Brita gets in here at like 11:30 or 8:30. Because it's kind of like last call. So that's it. Working on a lot of Homebrew for Life videos. We've got a dark lager video coming up, Mexican lager, Frank Zappa, Maury's Top Ramen, chicken and cheese, carbonara hangover recipe. It's not going to work at all, but we're going to make the video. Next week, Maury's going to Orlando. I think we brought that up last time. Maury's going to Orlando. Okay. I'll pay money not to go to Orlando unless Shaq's playing. And then no dry hop with no oxygen. We finally found it. This is what I've been looking for a long time. And these are magnets. You guys know where I'm going with this? These are gnarly magnets. These are no joke. These are going to be for hazy IPAs or dry hopping and primary without adding oxygen at all to any of your beer. And I was 3 reasons I was worried about it. Nobody take this idea right now and make a YouTube video. I'm kidding. But I think I'm going to shoot this one this weekend too. So you better be fast or you're going to beat me to the punch. The whole magnet thing, put it in your lid, and then after 5 days or whatever, take the magnet off and your dry hops will fall down in there. I was worried about it that dropping magnets into your beer would be weird. I don't know the chemistry behind it, but it sounds gross. 2, just like this shaping around your fermenter, it's circular. It doesn't really have a crescent to it. You want to keep it flat like that, but it fits on every fermenter. And most importantly, the kicker was that it's sous vide, so it's food grade. So there's 2 magnets in there. I don't know if you can see that. And then they're wrapped in like this, I don't know, food grade something. And if it works for sous vide, it's going to give me peace of mind to work for my beer. So we could talk a little bit about that, dry hopping without getting hop burn. I got a lot of stuff written down. I actually have stuff written down this time. We don't just have to go all aimless and shit. Shout out to, I think it was Apartment. It was definitely Apartment and Jusbrewing. They're bringing up, if you could have, there's a conclusion to every podcast that I do. It's like, if you could have dinner with anybody at your favorite gastropub, drinking your favorite beers, who would it be? And it's a cool question. Me and my friends just kind of get drunk and ask each other. I've had answers, anybody from Jesus to Hitler, Martin Luther King, Jerry Seinfeld. For whatever reason, there's no anti-Semites in here. Just for whatever reason, Peter from Genius had like Naruto or a Japanese animation character. But 2 so far have been Neil deGrasse Tyson. So I just got him written down because I don't know too much about him. He went on Rogan. I listened to a couple clips about like Pangea, which I think is super interesting. Pressure to break glass. I've been thinking a lot about pressure lately. Like, how much PSI would it take to break beer bottles and wine bottles? And actually, would it take for like a Sankey to kick or a Corny Keg PRV to kick? Because I don't think it would kick. To me, it would sound like it wouldn't like, it would just slowly like prematurely ejaculate out. I don't know. New YouTube channel, Dr. Hans. Check him out. He's a Swedish guy. I'm still learning new YouTube channels. He's got great production. He's got very good production. Why is there so much expensive homebrewing stuff? We could talk about that. Lagering with Anvil, the cooling system. It's all good. Wort chilling hacks. I got a bunch. I got a ton. Hop burn. Pluses and minuses of dry hopping hazies. Eldorado Tropica. I found out when I first bought my first brew system. I did. A little bit about Justin. I'm going to bring him on right now. He's a live streamer. He's 25 years old. He's out there in Austin, Texas. First beer stream, how he raises money for charity, editing, who edits. He's a philanthropist. Plans with his channel, yada, yada, yada. Let's get him on here. Let's pull him in. Does this work? All right, here we go. Justin, I'm going to go ahead and make a Discord call to you right now. You ready for me, Brunch? Let's go to start video. Are you rocking the pick? Paying your internet bill? Is my cat eating its food? Yeah. Let's go to, we'll set this up and we're going to go to, Justin, you here, Brush? I can hear you. Kind of. What's up, man? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can't hear me, can you? Can you? All right, I'm pulling you in right now. So I'm going to go to, all right, so we're going to go to, I got you right here, man. I know what's going on these days. Okay, I'm going to pull you in like this. You're only going to be able to see me on YouTube. All right, so that's you, and I'm going to make you look something like this. What's going on, Braj? How you doing? Let me go to take mine in here. We're gonna go to. I can hear you, but you're going off my YouTube audio. We need to go off the Discord audio, and that way there's not a delay. I'm gonna trim you a little bit. On your. We're gonna take a little off the top. There we go. All right, and then we can make the chat a little bit bigger. Okay, they can't hear you, so let's go to audio output capture. Can they hear you now? Can you hear me now? Verizon Wireless, can you hear me now? Can you save this setup as a profile in OBS? Yes, I can, but
I can still hear you through. Oh, hold on.
Let me talk to the chat through chat. All right, so I don't think they can hear him.
So I heard you through the YouTube live stream.
Yeah,
but I still can't seem to hear you through.
Okay, so you're gonna want to go to Discord down here and click on your little.
Discord yet.
Click on your user settings, your cogwheel. Yeast and the Beast.
I can hear you now.
You can hear me now?
I can, yes.
Okay, so now we're in sync. What's going on, Braj? How you doing?
Not too bad.
Where'd you go?
Finished eating dinner.
Where'd you go?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but I've got to click off this. This is a scary thing because people can see all the weird shit that I watch. All right, we're here. What's up, man? Cheers, Braj. Welcome, everybody. He's repping his merch. What were you saying? You got some chow in you?
Yeah, I just finished eating dinner. I'm sipping on a pseudo lager that I brewed up not long ago.
Is this one that's going to be at your wedding?
It is. It's called Light of My Life.
Nice.
An American Pilsner.
I saw what you did there.
Yeah. So I've got 4 beers on the lineup, and I've got my journal here with me. So
cool, man.
But I got 4 beers on the lineup. The Light of My Life. That's an American Pilsner. I can run down the grain bill if you'd like. But that's the first. The second, I have a raspberry sour using Philly yeast. I have that one's called Sour Special Day.
Word.
I have a hazelnut porter called Hazel Nuptials.
Do you want to give them the rundown about what you're doing these beers for the people that haven't listened to the podcast?
So for those that do not know, I am currently engaged. We got engaged this past December, and plan on getting married later this August. So mid-August we'll be having our wedding. I'm going to provide all the beer for it. Turns out it's cheaper for me to brew all that beer once or twice over. It would be cheaper for me to do that than it would be to try to buy what would be commercial kegs and use that for to supply beer. But for those that do not know, all of these are obviously they're wedding puns because they're all beers for mine and my fiance's wedding. But I've got the pseudo pilsner. I'm sorry, the pseudo lager.
Light of my life. Light of my life.
Yeah, I got Light of My Life, Sour Special Day, Hazel Nuptials, and a Smash IPA called Wedding Smashers.
Well, I'll tell you what, dude. You have bigger balls than me because I would not brew beer at my wedding. I would not brew. I mean, I would because I know what I want, but I know how like shitty my aunts are and stuff and how particular. And they'd be like, why didn't you bring Chardonnay? And I'd be like, fuck you, Aunt Robin.
We're going to do 4 beers. Well, I've got that, and I've got a bourbon barrel-aged dark Belgian quad on the way as well.
Count me out, man.
That one's big and bold. I had to do something. I wanted to condition something for the wedding. So I started looking around at like beers that would be complemented by a 3-month, 4-month conditioning.
Right.
Russian Imperial Stout, of course, is one of the go-tos. I didn't want to do an Imperial Stout just because I knew this is going to be during the summer, so likely going to be enjoyed in the 70s, 80s here in Texas, and likely at night. And I didn't want to get people too crazy before they ended up driving home. So the specialty beer for the evening is going to be that bourbon barrel aged dark quad I've got it fermenting now in secondary. But next week I'm going to be adding. You saw it on Instagram. It's what you commented on. But I'm going to be adding a mixture of cherry bourbon. So it's about 2/3 a 750 ml bottle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I've got that. I've got cherry bourbon soaking. I've got some. It's soaking with French oak cubes and Oh yeah, cherries. So I've got more cherries soaking, and I've got the French oak cubes all soaking in some cherry bourbon. That's gonna make its way into the fermenter probably next week.
I like it, man. Don't pull a CH when you're talking about your stouts. Put a ton of chalk in that, man, because if you're putting it down for a couple months, my mistake is that I didn't put enough chalk into my stouts or porters and stuff like that. And if you wait a long time, and if you make them 10 or 11% like me, and you sit on them, they taste so acidic that they actually will taste like peppers. So hit it with that food grade chalk. That's all I'm saying. But I wish you well, man.
Thank you.
I think you've got way bigger balls than I do, because I would not brew for my own wedding.
It would be, I won't use the word disappointing if I didn't, but a lot of people are going to assume that I am, because everyone knows that I'm a home brewer. Everyone that's going to be there at least knows that it's something that I'm doing in one capacity or another.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know that some friends and family would be like, where's the beer? And I would have to bring some that I made. And I figured rather than meeting in the middle and doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, what are some of the most basic beers that I can provide that are going to be easy for everyone? Not everyone's craft beer. People do like beer,
right?
But not everyone likes craft beer. So I kind of found a decent mix, being that super simple IPA.
Your pseudo lager is going to work for that category. Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be perfect. I can't wait. I've already got some notes as to what I'm going to do next time around, because this is just the test batch.
Yeah.
So come July, late June, I'm going to go ahead and start brewing the actual beers for the wedding. We're just going to take my keezer, going to load it up in my buddy's truck, take the keezer
Bring
down.
the rig.
Yeah, I might as well. I've already got all the necessary stuff. All I need is a truck. Luckily, one of my buddies is going to help me out with that. So
right on, man.
Wyatt. I'm not sure if you're watching this, but if you are, cheers.
You got some buddies in here? Is my dad in here? Where's my dad? Yeah, shout out to you. I hope that goes well, and I think your pseudo lager is going to be hit. And at the end of the day, I know that there's women, or that I guess you can't really say that anymore, but there's people that will not drink craft beer. They just can't do IPAs, but they will always settle for a light lager. So I think they'd rather drink it and complain and be a bitch than not drink it, is what I'm saying. So,
oh yeah,
I think you got a good list. I think you've got a good can't go wrong list. You know, if you were hitting them with like, I don't know, 2 Belgians and 2 3.2 pH kettle sours, you might hear some complaints, but I think you're going to be safe. So
yeah, I think I definitely asked around. I even went to some of my coworkers, because I told you offline that I'm in video calls all the time.
Yeah.
This
guy works for Google.
Ask my coworkers. I do.
Wow.
I love my job. I'm incredibly fortunate having the job that I have. I did it without a college degree either. A lot of people think that you need all these crazy kind of.
You do not. No,
you don't. Not in a field like that I'm in.
No.
If you're someone that works with your hands, you definitely can get it done. I had a year of IT experience and a super simple, like $100 certification. Those two things got me my job at Google. Now that doesn't mean if you did the same things you would get the job, but it puts you above some of the other people out there. Hey, my sister's in here. What's up, Jazz?
You got Jasmine Freeman and you got Arc 6 Brewing. I'm seeing some new faces in here. What's up, Jonathan Elliott? What's up, Brunch? What's up, Yeast and the Beast? Yeast and the Beast is out there in Texas too. I think he's got some bad weather.
Oh yeah.
Or he's lying.
We've discussed meeting up offline. We've discussed my fiance's family. A lot of her family is out in Fort Worth, or at least the DFW area, as well as some of my family. My brother is out there, his baby. So we make it a point to try to see people when we get into town. I may grab a beer with Yeast someday.
That'd be rad.
That's the plan.
I've met up with a lot of people from Instagram and YouTube, and 99% of them have been super rad. I don't know, Trev, who the Australian broch, he comes in here. He's legit as the day is long. There's only been one guy I met in real life. That kind of scared the shit out of me. And he was hitting me up. He's like, hey, man, can I buy a T-shirt in person? Can I buy a T-shirt in person? I was like,
weird.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
I'll just send one to you. To be
honest. Swim fan comes in all forms. It's not just, crazy girl, high school girl,
Oh, yeah.
So there's a reason that, people get PO boxes and stuff like that and live in gated communities. But for the most part, I think, I've met people through Instagram, social media, Homebrew for Life. And we've been friends for years. So that'd be rad. Shout out to Yeast in the Barrage. He got a new video up. He put up a banana bread video that's on the Discord. Yeah. Vlad the Impaler. I met Vlad the Impaler at Culver a couple weekends ago.
Hey, what's up, Vlad? We were chit-chatting last episode. Actually, we've done that just about every episode now.
Vlad's the man. Vlad comes down from
Vlad's cool.
Yeah, he comes down from San Bernardino, and he stays over here pretty much where my stomping grounds is, where pretty much Legoland is, Palomar Airport Road. And he gets a hotel right where, like, Culver, Booze Brothers, Battle Mage, Helia, my girlfriend's work, and just get drunk and then sleep there. It's a
Oh yeah, I mean that's I mentioned it during the podcast. So those that have watched it or listened to it, I hate to bring it up again, but the homebrew community it's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. I am a huge fan of the back and forth that we get. I'm one that always asks questions, whether it's hobby related or not. Wow. Like you can ask my coworkers, I'm always asking random ass questions. But that's what teaches you things. At least that's how I learn stuff. So doing all that, I make sure to ask the right questions in comment sections. I know now to even look to the Discord for recipe ideas and stuff like that. So this community, and I've been a content creator since last August, I think, last July maybe. It was during the summer. I feel towards the end of the summer is when I actually was when someone recommended I try to live stream it. I've always been interested in live streams. I used to watch them religiously, so to speak. Game live streams generally. So most stuff you'd find on Twitch. We got super into it, and then someone was like, "You should like live stream your brew day. Like, there's a way for you to make that happen." I was like, "You know what? That does sound like fun." You've brewed beer before. Sometimes it's just sitting there. A lot of the times, you're checking this, doing that, getting this ready, cleaning this thing up. But there's quite a bit of downtime sometimes. So I was like, you know what? Let me add another layer to my brew day. I feel like I can do that successfully. I wasn't necessarily wrong, but I noticed that I feel like I try harder if I'm live streaming because I feel like I don't want to impress the viewers, so to speak. But I don't want to make a mistake or a mess on camera. Not again.
You wouldn't be the first, man. We shit the bed all the time.
I've broken glasses. I've spilled. Like that's why I'm not in the kitchen anymore.
Yeah.
If you look at my beginning videos and live stream,
saw that.
I'm in the kitchen.
Yeah,
I'm in the kitchen.
You got a nice kitchen. You got a nice setup because you have that island. I don't have the island, but you've got the Martha Stewart thing going on, and
we got a nice little house down here in South Austin.
Yeah, I live in a damn near like a couple steps up from like a camper, so it's kind of hard to everything's. Ideally, if I had an island with an oven on it, I'd do way more cooking videos, but it just looks kind of crazy. But speaking of live streams, so is the cat out of the bag that you and Short Circuited are collabing for the gluten-free beer, or did I just blow it?
Well, I wouldn't say that there wasn't much to blow. We discussed it. I don't know how much. We haven't put anything on paper necessarily.
Oh, okay.
I really want to see what it looks like. I really want to do a gluten-free beer. Mostly for the experience. What's it look like? What's it taste like? Is it as easy as the rest of it? And I like to think that it would be, but just the sheer lack of inclusivity, so to speak, when it comes to things like gluten-free, celiac type conditions. There's not too much out there, and I really want to see what we can do about that. I knew someone who, and I hate to be that guy, but I knew someone who knew somebody who was had celiac, and they were unable to have any type of gluten, but they liked beer, so sometimes they dealt with it, right? But sometimes not everyone can do that, so they went about brewing their own beer. Like, what, I like beer, but I'm gluten free. Like I want to be able to do this. So they just started brewing all their own gluten free beers and started sharing it with their friends, and people liked it. I saw this in a Facebook group that I'm in. I'm in this like homebrew network that's got like 15,000 people in it on Facebook. And people just drop same thing, just like the Discord, dropping ideas, helping people out. It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. I'm really not used to it.
Well, right on. The goal for the night is to black out. No, I'm kidding. Kind of. But we're going to try to get you up to 200 subscribers. I'm looking at your channel right now. You have 182. You have 182.
That should be easy. That should be easy.
I hope. How many people are watching right now? Shout out to the 64 Nintendo 64 people. It's 64 on Streamlabs. It's 63 on Shmoo. What up, Roswells? Mm-hmm. What up, everybody? We're kind of just hanging out. I've got a couple things I've written down, kind of. We don't have to talk about any of this shit though. We can just kind of do Q&A.
Hey, your call. if we're gonna do anything, I need more beer though. So if you can give me 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I just finished that pseudo lager. Let me go show you what the raspberry sour looks like. I know you saw the same thing. You jumped on the
text
my
me
Instagram
one
story.
Yeah.
I can put it in the Discord, I think, if I have it somewhere. But let me go get a refill real quick.
Go get a refill. I'll be right here. Really quick for the Wort chill hacks. If anybody watched the recent Homebrew for Life video, I definitely put a lot of emphasis on my ice game and my Wort cooler chiller game, my cooler game and my ice game. And usually when I put my ice in a little bit of water before I put my pre-chiller in there to get ready to knock out, if you put it in like in the morning, that water is going to be like 1 degree above freezing. But if I hit it with, my hose waters, I'm getting ready to knock out, it's only going to get it down to probably like, in that half an hour time, maybe like mid 40s, high 40s. So really quick, to anybody who watched that video today, one thing I left out, and I'm reading the comments right now because I love how people can, correct me. And we're talking about hose clamps and stuff like that. And somebody brought up, just use the stainless steel ones for permanent stuff, and the plastic ones are good for the temporary stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, that's how I use them. For the permanent stuff, I use the flathead with the stainless. And then if I'm just, transferring or setting up some hose connect, the garden hose to pre-chiller to this, then I'll do the temporary ones or something like that. But 2 things I'm going to do is I'm going to start my knockout 25-pound piece of ice in the morning with my yeast starter. And I don't know. I've been doing it way too hot. And if you do it this way, you could probably knock out in probably 15 minutes if you're stirring the whole time. So I don't know. But I'm going to get a beer now too. Hold it down, Brush.
Yeah, of course. I can do that. So TA, it looks like I was typing it up to you, but let me go ahead and fill the space here. So the raspberry sour, I actually just essentially copied for those that are familiar with it, Northern Brewer, super popular homebrew supply chain. They're kind of the man, so to speak. But they've got some decent products, some really good beer recipes. I've only recently started getting into building my own recipes. And I wanted this to be exactly like the first time I brewed this raspberry sour. So this is my rendition number 2. The first time I used lactobacillus. So I kettle soured the beer. For those that are not familiar, I'm essentially pitching a yeast or something like a yeast. It's a bacteria that lowers the pH of the beer, which gives us a souring effect. So I kettle soured the beer over what might be 2 or 3 days to get it to our preferred sourness level. Well, that was Northern Brewer's functional sour. So I have that recipe. That video is up on my channel. It actually had no grains in it. So exactly opposite of what I'm doing now. It was all extract. And what I'm doing now is all grain. So I took their all grain malt bill and kind of tweaked it a little bit just to kind of get to my volume, my preferred specifications. All of these, again, are going to be served at my wedding. So I don't want anything super strong. None of my beers are going to be over like 5.5%, with the exception of the specialty. That one I'm hoping to get close to 8 or 9. But the raspberry sour I'm sipping right now is only what is like 70% Pilsner malt, and then the rest white wheat with an ounce of Tettnang at the top of the boil.
It's a good ratio, 70-30 for the wheat beers. I'd do 70-30 for light hazies and Berliner Weisses and stuff. 70-30 is a good ratio.
I did not use a puree. This is about 8 pounds, 7.5 pounds or so of a. I'm sorry, I did not use flavoring.
Looks good,
this
Raj.
Is a puree. My apologies. Yeah, 7 or so pounds of puree. I made it myself with some sugar, a little bit of water. Pitched it into my fermenter. Looks good, tastes good. I'm working on head retention right now. I noticed some of my beers have been coming out. It may stay carbonated, throughout the entire time it's in the keg in my keezer. But I'm working on head retention. So if you got some advice on that, let me know.
Justin, really quick, the beer you were talking about on our podcast, it kind of reminds me of Battle Mage. We were talking about on the broadcast how impossible it is to pick out beer. Nowadays you go to a liquor store and I just feel like an idiot. I feel like I don't belong. Like, what aisle do I go? I thought I knew the beer section, but now I feel like I'm lost in the supermarket. And and what's your brewery you're talking about? Clown Shoes?
Yeah, Clown Shoes. They're the jam.
Yeah.
I love that brewery.
Clown Fear. Yeah, Cape Fear. Killer Clowns. But this is definitely one of the coolest, most standoutist
labels.
And this is actually one of their more mellower ones. Like they have ones that are way more kind of neon and vibrant, and I think a lot more red. I think it's all about like neon red or pink. I think that's going to kind of wake the customer up a little bit. But yeah,
it's just about that it grabs your eye. Like just naturally, if you're scanning a shelf and you're not like staring at something in particular, the bright colored stuff's going to catch your eye. I mean,
right.
That's just the way it works.
Unless you
doing it right.
Yeah, unless you know like.
Right.
Pliny the Elder doesn't have to do anything, or Hetty Topper doesn't have to do anything. You know, it's we made the joke about how the Carpenter's Cup from Indiana Jones, the third one. It's just like the most blandest one, but it's like Jesus was a carpenter or something like that. It's like if you go in there wanting to get Pliny the Elder, they don't need to put anything on their bottle. If you're a brand new brewery, you got to have like neon red, glow in the dark, hologram, Marvel masterpiece, lizard.
Yeah, you need to stand out way more than all the big guys. Like
Dragon ass IPA.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So
you need to. It's all in the. Well, there's like 4 things personally that I look for.
Lizard tits.
That's actually a really good name. Write that down.
Lizard tits IPA.
Somebody write that down. I would buy that.
100.
It's the name and the label, so those two kind of go together.
Yeah.
Which is why I like Clown Shoes so much, because the name is like Dracula killing zombies at noon or something.
Works for me.
That. Absolutely wild.
Blade 4
sticks with you.
Origins of Logan, Weapon X. I'm sold.
See, I would watch that. I would watch that Blade movie. I saw the first one, and I was super young. I mean, I'm 25, so I don't even know when the first ones came out. But my dad liked it.
Probably about 20 years ago.
Yeah. My dad liked it. I watched it with him. Many years ago. And I remember liking it just because Wesley Snipes. It's hard not to like Wesley Snipes.
Demolition Man, Simon Says.
Oh,
was that before your time?
No, Demolition Man. We had that on VHS.
Simon Says.
Come here, CH.
Where do I go?
We had Demolition. We had Demolition Man. Just get closer to your camera.
Okay.
We had
now I'm listening.
Demolition Man on VHS. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the van that my mom had had a VHS like a player. I forgot VHS. What is it called? What is it called now?
Beta.
Right? We had a VHS in the van and a TV in there. So we would watch Demolition Man like on repeat. If my sister's still in here, she can vouch for that. If my brothers happen to be in here,
I believe
we would watch Demolition Man, and we would talk about that. The 3 shells. Yep, Jonathan Elliott.
Yep.
We talk about the shells.
You can't cuss
Rob
anymore.
Schneider, that was like one of his first big movies.
Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock, like the weird high five thing, dude. Oh, I love that movie.
Who was the dude in that who ran like the underground Foot Clan? Dennis Leary, Tom Leary.
Let me double check.
It was. I think it was Dennis Leary. Where they're like, up top it's like Utopia, and down below it's like a whole other world that's eating rats and shit like that.
Yeah, let me check the
Demolition
IMDb
Man.
real quick.
Who else was in that? Cliffhanger, Brush, Rambo, Sly and the Family, Sylvester Stallone, Sly and the Family, Sylvester Stallone,
Snipes.
Dennis Leary, yeah. NBC,
Dennis Leary.
Mandatory Beer Chug. Mandatory Beer Chug.
Let's do it. Just keep in mind, I would need to grab another one. I should probably bring 2 glasses in here.
Your sister's saying Demolition Man and Human Tarzan. I don't.
Yeah, that's the one with it was George of the Jungle, not Human Tarzan. Is what she's thinking of.
Oh, with
the live action
Brandon Fraser. Yeah, I remember that one.
Yep, that's the one.
But
I'm down for it. This is a sour, so bear with me if it takes me more than one. I may need to take a break halfway through or so because it is continuous. It's still souring. I'm not sure.
We got a ways to go, man. We got a long ways to go, man. This is a race and a marathon. This is the only thing on planet Earth that's both. All right, should we do mandatory beer chug?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, 3, 2, 1, fire in the hole.
Mandatory beer chug!
Every half hour from here on out. Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Are you
good?
good?
Let me grab another one while the thing is playing.
I got a little
I'll be right back.
POW. I kind of bitched out. MEC for Pilsners from here on out. Morning. Session IPA night. That might be fair. That might be very good wisdom. Tom, what's going on, bro? Apartment brewer. Make sure he talks the whole NBC. Rasmus is in Denmark. Shout out to him. It's what, 3 a.m. over there? He's across the pond. Our Denmarkian brunch. I'm going to throw up. I'm going to get electrocuted from my own throw up. I'm getting called out by Rasmus. I'll get it better later. Sandra Bullock, Mega Babe, Speed 2 cruise control. Do you have anything going on in your fermenters right now?
So the only thing I have kicking right now is the that bourbon barrel dark quad that I mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had essentially 5 beers going at once. So I kegged all 4 of my my wedding lineup. I kegged all 4 last week. And did a test run when my fiance's family came in town to make sure that everyone was going to like it and see, who gravitated to what, so I can
quality control,
double volume.
Smart man.
Yeah, of course. I did go to college. I dropped out, but I did go.
Well, I mean, at least you're not taking a shot in the dark, At least you're not taking a shot.
No.
You guys like craft beer, right?
Fiance's idea.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
Are we gonna get a fiance appearance tonight, or like a kind of a Brita cameo maybe at 8:30 when she gets home from work?
Yeah, if she's down. She's watching some TV right now. Same thing. She was eating it when I was. But she's watching some TV right now. She knows this is going on.
All right, all good. Right. No pressure. I know some people don't care at all about being in front of the cameras, and some people,
if she wants to,
rock their world.
If she wants to, wow. She's more than welcome. She's been in my videos, so her being on camera isn't anything too new.
Fair enough. She's got the.
I like to do my tastings with somebody, so it's very nice having her with me, and like her being more than willing to, at a drop of a hat, hey, like I'm gonna record like right now. What are you doing? Like, let's get something going on.
She's got a great haircut, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, but I think that's called the Cruella de Vil. Is that safe to say?
The specific name, I'm not sure.
I
know that
black and then white on one side, because I know it's.
I think Sia might have made it popular first. I'm not really sure, but I know Cruella had the. I don't know if hers was all the way split or if only like some of it on the front was split. I don't really remember.
Are we talking about the Disney movie? Or are we talking about the cartoon one or the one with Glenn Close?
Animation is what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Animation with
that's way before your time. For the record, there's an 11-year gap right here. We're talking 25 and 36. So that's cool that you caught the Demolition Man reference, because that was like.
Oh yeah.
That was like when I was. That was
a number of my. I'm that guy. That's one of the younger ones. My fiance included. We're the ones that are the younger ones in our group.
I remember as a little kid going to school in like 3rd or 4th grade. It's like, bro, did you watch a rated R movie? Yeah, and like what were the top 3? It was Demolition Man, Cliffhanger, and like Terminator 2. So
my first thought was what's the? I can't remember the name because I've only seen it like a half time.
Don't tell our moms. Don't tell your mom.
Wow. It was my mom might be watching. I don't know. I didn't watch very many R-rated movies as a kid. I remember watching one of the Saw movies while my family was watching it, but through the crack of the door, because like I wanted to watch the movie, but I was super scared, as you are when you're a kid.
Yeah.
I didn't like watching people get tortured, right? Who does?
Yeah, that could
I would, like,
fuck a kid up.
Like the crevice of the front of the side door on our in our den where our movie was.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, our TV was. Man, I remember like trying to watch the movie, and then my family found out I was out there because I was like, I don't want to watch this, I'm scared. So I left, but like kept it open so I could still see. They found out I was out there and brought my ass back in. They're like, hey, if you're afraid of it, like you need to either leave or you need to watch it. Obviously, you want to watch it, so you're gonna sit in here and watch this scary movie.
Clockwork Orange just force you to watch it. You're like, you want to watch it? You want to watch it, man?
Like no, see, my mom cared about me, so she didn't she made sure not to actively made sure I did not watch that movie.
No, we had no censorship in my family. That's how you end up as homebrew for life. That's how you end up like me, man.
That's a good point. Honestly,
your dad forces you to go on roller coasters.
Well, if it weren't for things like homebrew for life, I wouldn't be the brewer that I am. So shouts to you for that.
Appreciate that, Brosh. You grab a beer.
Yeah, I would not be the. A lot of people that might be watching this are likely in a similar boat if they're also homebrewers.
I appreciate that.
Of course. Yeah, no, I'm definitely one to give credit where credit's due. I don't do anything all day ever, so like I don't ever do anything new. So I refuse to take any credit. So like anything in the videos that I do that I know someone else has done, hey, like I was gonna do a carving video, but I was like, I don't even want to because like this is the only one that you need is the 30-minute carb one that you guys uploaded
with Maury. That was Homebrew for Life. Like we started out making the first like 10 Homebrew for Life videos. Well, I made a YouTube video today that like I tried to start Homebrew for Life back in 2015, and I put like 30 seconds of what like the content used to look like. And it's nothing like how it is now. And then when we fired it up again, when I met Kevin and Maury and these guys, like, hey, let's start a beer channel. We made all these dumbass buffalo cheese dip IPA stuff. And we were going to quit the channel. And we're like, we thought we'd get a little bit more traction. And then we did the forced carbonation video. Now we're here talking today. Now people are in the chat talking today. Like that's fate.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's how, awesome. Yeah, it's like if that never happened, nobody would be here. Nobody would be here.
Yeah, it was your
free
carving video and your all grain how to when it was condensed and all into one video rather than like the separate ones.
We got love. We got love for that. That was another one that kind of like, you have to have videos that hit. You got to get some love from YouTube, or else you're just like, I can't edit and buy stuff and give up all my Saturdays and Sundays. And we brought up a good point. Is like, even to be a home brewer or not even a brew tuber, just a brewer. Brewer, you need to have either, if you live at home, you have to have cool parents. If you're living with your girlfriend or fiance or boyfriend or what's the opposite of fiance for husband? Is it still called fiance?
They're still your fiance.
They're still your fiance. It goes both ways.
Your partner, if you want to go generic, if you want to cover all the bases, your partner, your significant other.
Right, and you have to get like a lot of love from them. Like they have to be supporting you. Like they have to be like, hey, I'm gonna brew. And now I'm going to destroy our garage or our kitchen.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We're going to get drunk, and you have to have that love. And if you don't have that love, we're not here talking in front of each other again. If your fiance is like, you better knock this shit off. You better, what the fuck? You got 3 vessels and you got burners and all this stuff. You haven't used it in 2 months. Why do you think there's homebrew stuff on Craigslist for nothing every single day?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm the person that buys it up. Like
it's a buyer's market.
Sure you do it too.
Fuck yeah.
I don't buy anything new. With one exception, that fermentation chamber. I think we talked about it during the broadcast.
Yeah.
I did just get my first fermentation chamber, so big step up in homebrew game.
There you go, Braj.
But I got it because I got it essentially half off. It was like $3.50, but it was on sale, and I had some Best Buy points to spend. So I essentially got it half off. So that's probably the only thing recently that I've gotten new. A lot of the stuff that I get is from Facebook. So the mash and boil that you see in my videos, that's from Facebook. The 3-vessel system that you see in my videos, from Facebook. If it weren't for my little brother giving me his DSLR, I would not have a camera, and I probably would have bought one off of Facebook because I needed. It was his. He essentially gave me his blessing to use his equipment at first because he's a film guy. He does videos and stuff. He used to, at least. I don't know if he's uploading anything right now. Well, he can't because he gave me his camera. Anyway. He had a bunch of yeah, exactly, right? He had a bunch of equipment, and eventually he wasn't able to use it anymore. So he was like, "Hey, you can use it because I would rather you use it than it just sit here and not get used." And then eventually he gifted it to me because he realized it was not that it was mine, but he didn't want to have to.
Sounds like a cool brother, man.
Want to ask, hey, I love my family.
Sounds like a barrage.
Oh yeah, I don't know if he's watching right now. He's probably working, so he can't watch. But I got him into the brew space, so he started brewing beer recently, and he actually works at a brewery here in Austin. He worked at one, and then some stuff happened, and then he now works at another one. But he is making his way in the brew industry as a beer tender for now. He was a brewer's apprentice, but is now a beer tender and likes it even more.
Well,
he's loving it.
It sounds like to me, if there was ever a time if you guys were to open up a brewery, it sounds like you have a pretty good business partner or somebody on your page,
Yeah, I know that I've got someone else that's not just like interested but invested. He spent time in the homebrew space now. Or I'm sorry, in the beer industry now. So even if it's just a little bit, I can tell his next job, if it's still with this brewery, it's going to be another beer job. I don't see him leaving that for now, at least unless it's for something for film. Because he was looking at photography and film gigs, but you need a crazy portfolio in order to make that your full-time job.
I worked for Booze Brothers and Vista, and those guys are like, what's the word I'm looking for? Telepathic? Those guys are like,
it's like
they
were
read each other's mind. They're always on
Yep.
the same page. They don't. It's like animals. You just know like body language going off. It's like, like that kid you go over to his house and his dad comes into the room and you guys are making a mess and he just looks at you guys and then the dad leaves and the kid goes, "Hey, you guys got to get the hell out of here." And we're like, "What? Why? Nothing happened." He's like, "No, I'm grounded." And you're like,
Yeah.
"How'd you know that?"
Yeah, it was the silence. That's what told me.
They've grown up with each other. They know, when somebody is smiling or rubbed the wrong way, and it's a great business, and I fucking loved working there. It was another thing that probably, if I never got hired at Booze Brothers, there'd probably be no homebrew for life. There'd be no Maury, Photo Cavi, and even though they're not in pretty much any of the videos since COVID, that's going to change soon, and that's kind of how Homebrew for Life all started, was getting a job at Booze Brothers. And Booze Brothers is killing it. I hope one day they're selling you beer out there in Austin, Texas. And
that'd be awesome.
that would be awesome. And it's like you said, it's like you're telling me about your beers and what I should check out. It's like when we go into a brewery, or if you go into your local tasting room, or I'm sorry, your local liquor store, and you're like, I don't know what to get, but it's like, shit, Justin told me to check out this brewery from Boston, Massachusetts. I'm going to buy that now. Like, I'm going to buy that because this is organic. This is word of mouth. You're not a salesman for Clown Shoes. Is it organic? Is it political? It's like, I worked at this place. They like me. They have great beer. Check out the beer. It's like, that's organic. That's word of mouth, like.
Oh, yeah.
Unless they're giving you 10 cents of every 6-pack, it's like, yeah, now it's political. Go there, buy this beer.
Yeah, I have yet to be reached out by. Excuse me, I have yet to be reached out to by a brewing company. For one reason or another. I mean, my channel is still very small, so not that I don't want it, but I would rather not have to deal with something like that at such a. My channel's new. I'm not doing this for views. I'm not doing this for free stuff. Don't get me wrong, I like both. Hey, I'll take all of either. My fiance will tell you I love free stuff. And anytime, and I've got it in my description on the off chance a brewing company's listening. But for instance, one of the big breweries here in Austin, 512 Brewing Company. I did a beer review for a few of their beers. I brought it up because my fiance and I just wanted to. We stop by breweries from time to time. I never go there expecting anything. But I went in and was like, hey, I would love to do a beer review for y'all's lineup. What are 4 beers that the brewer would like to have reviewed? I haven't had any of y'all's beer yet, but I would love to have some. And what would you like me to have? So I asked around, blah, blah, blah. Eventually they said, hey, here's a 6-pack and then some. Just because we like what you're doing and we want to support you and we don't want you to have to pay for that. And I was like, well, why don't I just pay for it? And then I'll do it as well. That way we both benefit from it. You give me beer, I give you money for said beer. Everyone, we're both even. I do not want to try to get free stuff out of you. That's why I'm not. If I wanted free stuff, I would have said, hey, can I have free stuff? No, I offered to pay. And they were like, well, we're not going to let you. These beers fell off the truck. And I was like, God damn it. Now I have to take it.
Yeah, but Justin,
they're being too nice.
It gets weird, Raj. If you ever feel uncomfortable or whatever, when you first start out YouTube, people come to you and they're like, hey, somebody hit me up. They want to give me free beard bomb or free beers. And you're like, yeah, totally. And you're going to make the mistake of this beer sucks. This thing is a piece of shit. These glasses didn't work. And now you're telling people to buy it. And that's the catch. They want you to, if I watch, who's your favorite YouTube channel? Justin, who's your
in general?
Outside of beer. Outside of
MKBHD, Marquez Brownlee.
Okay,
by far, favorite YouTuber.
So if he says, hey, go buy these pair of sunglasses, a lot of people are based off his word. And if these sunglasses are any shitty thing at all, doesn't matter if they're $10, $30, or $200, and they're wiggly or they don't have enough weight and they fall off your face, you're going to be like, what the hell, man? I'm never going to...
Your word is now on the line.
Your word is now on the line. It's that's why your safest bet is just beer is a safe bet. Beer's a safe bet. Your own merch, a t-shirt, a hat, that's a safe bet. Push your merch. A $600 fermenter scares me to death. When I was starting out on YouTube, and I'm still probably starting out, But if I had, 200 subscribers and people were like, hey, here's a $600 fermenter, say it's the best thing ever, I would have done that. And now I'm on Discord and people are like, don't buy this. It's overpriced. It's a piece of shit. It does not make your beer better. And it's like, okay, that's fair. Like that. You look at the comment section of anything that's $600 or the 5 stars on Amazon. Yeah, there's always going to be the guy that loses his mind. But it's like, I don't want to be... I only bought this because you said buy it. And it's like, wow, now we've... This isn't good. So the more you kind of... Yep. I don't know. This could be a motherfucker. And I know people think like, hey, people want to give you stuff and it's all good. It's like, no. They want exposure for their shitty gadget and you want their money or free merch. Nothing's been vouched for.
Yep.
It's a brand new startup. This is a very scary relationship.
Yeah, that's why I have yet to. I mean, I've had one like sponsor company jump on one of my videos, and they say, "Hey, like, we do a lot of different stuff. So like, your channel kind of falls under that, being beverage and And I was like, well, I mean, I have yet to see anything homebrew related under your umbrella. So there's a really good chance whatever your sponsors you have, they may not care for what I have to offer. They may not care for my opinion. I barely care about my opinion if we're being frank. So like I definitely wouldn't want to push my opinion on someone else that doesn't want my opinion.
Yeah.
I just upload videos that I want to see. Like I just like doing what would be a grain to glass video, and a breakdown of some weird thing, mostly probably because I searched it and didn't like the video that I saw, or I searched it and realized I could do that, especially if I end up following their steps. I could do that better. I like to think that I know one or two things different that would give me a leg up, so to speak.
The best thing to vouch for is stuff that doesn't matter. It like if you have like back in the day, I remember like Charles Barkley or Bam Margera would be like, Old Spice, Right Guard deodorant, buy this. You're like, okay, you know why that works? Because deodorant doesn't matter. You could buy 80,
or
50...
Or Mr. Squatch or Harry's or
well, no, like that does matter because that shit's probably like $40 for like, some bullshit 1 ounce thing.
Yeah.
Right, but if you're like,
pricey. Hey,
this is Charles Barkley and Bam Margera telling you to buy deodorant or buy a pair of socks or buy toothpaste, it's like, I'm in for that. I'm going to get some money and I'm not going to ruin anybody's perception of anything. There's probably that 1% chance that weird kid in high school is going to get some breakout skin rash disease, but other than that, like it's a pretty safe, you gave them exposure, they cut you the check, we're all happy. So
yeah, I mean stuff like that is pretty simple, and it wouldn't necessarily it would
Right
just
Guard.
be a plug here and there.
Right Guard.
But when it comes to a brewing company or someone like Clawhammer, for instance, for those that do not know, and because I'm sure most of my family that's watching might not know. But there are a lot of
scary thing to vouch for, Brush. Expensive thing to.
Yeah, there's just things that you want, but you don't need it. You want it only because it's bright and shiny. And I know Homebrew for Life is not a channel that's all about just because it's shiny. You need what works, not what's shiny. So for those that do, if you want to drop that, please do. Like I'm the last person that should tell you what you should and should not be doing with your money. When it's not homebrew stuff, I blow my money on all kinds of crazy stuff. Like the laptop that I'm using right now, I specifically had to buy a laptop. I say had in quotes, right? But I had to have a laptop that I was able to stream from because I was using my personal laptop to remote into my desktop to run my live stream. And it was a whole thing. And it was only getting worse. So eventually I had to kind of rethink things. And eventually it led to, I just need a dedicated streaming laptop. And that's where I'm at. Like I got it because I realized there was a hole that in my life that I created. Like I'm the last person that should tell you to spend money on something. But
well, that's why people buy us. Or that's why people buy people. It's an endorsement.
Yeah. I probably would not spend money on something like that. Now, if a company, Clawhammer, if you're watching, send me the kettle, send me the all-in-one.
They hate me.
I don't care. 110, 220, I don't care. I'll make it work.
They hate me.
Wow.
Really? Why's that?
I don't know. I've just reached out to him through comments a couple times, but at the end of the day, I think they're big enough where they have somebody that runs their social media and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's not the people on the video.
Yeah, I'm probably for the fact that I just said that their all-in-one grain system is $1,200, and there's ones out there that do the same exact thing for $400, and we're live right now. That probably helps. Why them?
That's fine.
Not reaching out.
My Brewers Edge.
That probably helps a lot.
Is probably only $300-400 brand new with all the extra stuff. So that's being the grain basket that you need, I mean everything. I don't know if there's a 220 option, 220 volt option, but what I can tell you is the one that I use brand new is probably less than $300. When it comes to a 3-vessel system, mine used cost me $200. If someone told me I did not need to go the 3-vessel of a system, I wouldn't have spent that money. I would have spent it somewhere else. Let me use the second phrase of that. I would have spent it somewhere else. I would not that I would have saved that, because I'm definitely not doing that. But I probably would have spent it somewhere else. I would have put it maybe into my now new fermentation chamber. Like I probably would have gotten something else had I known I was able to make really good beer without something like that 3-vessel system.
Shout out,
Homebrew Challenge. A lot of people know Homebrew Challenge.
Yeah, Martin's a Brunch.
That channel. I bought one of his shirts. I was very close to wearing one of his shirts. And Yeast and the Beast, I almost wore my Yeast and the Beast merch shirt, because when I saw that his
Yeast in the Barrage
merch went live, I bought it instantly. The same thing with yours. Like, I mean, it was like 5 happy hours ago.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I want a shirt. Like, it's not that I just want a shirt. I want to be able to wear that. I want to wear it on stream. I want to wear it in a video. I really like this channel, and I'm more than willing to give them a little bit of my money if that's what it takes.
Not only that, but
that's why I did what I did.
And you super chatted us $100 last week, and it's going to go towards the new XLR microphone that's going in the garage. Justin's a barrage. We got to get him over 200 subscribers. He's at 197 right now. If we can't get him over 200.
Yeah, that's 80 subscribers in a week, by the way. I started the week with 120 or so before. Actually,
hey, you help my channel out. You're helping my channel out, and the homebrew community comes full circle.
Is that a Pros with Peter?
Pros with Peter.
Let me
troll him.
Hey, I know you don't know who I am, Peter. But I've absolutely fallen in love with your channel over the last week or two. I think you got subscribed to me, so shout out to the algorithm. I did not know that Pros with Peter existed until probably 2 weeks ago. I saw 2 videos and immediately subscribed, and I've been a fan since. So shout out to Pros with Peter for sure. Yeast and the Beast. I mean, there's a handful of channels that I've just learned from, and I have to give credit where credit's due. I watched one of I forgot what video it was recently, but I watched a carbonating video of his, kind of how he carbonates his beers. Because I've been trying things different a little bit lately. I haven't gone about shaking my kegs.
Here's my
over
dad.
The last few days,
Here's my dad. Dad, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What's going on? Can you guys hear Pops?
I can hear Pops. What's up,
good.
Pop?
This is Pops. Pops, this is Justin. Pop. Oh, we have,
hey, nice.
Wait, is this bad news or good news?
I hope it's good news.
Are you there? Yeah, are you okay? All right, well, you're calling into the show. I'm going to put you on. All right, here we go.
Is this a call-in show now?
Yeah, it's Pops.
Fine.
I like that.
I just wanted to give a shout-out. I think this is one of your better shows, actually.
This is the first one you've watched.
I
Can you hear me? Paul Hardy.
No.
I hope it's good news.
I like the way Justin is making his beer for the wedding. And
I think it's a ballsy move. He's got more balls
Thank
than me.
you.
I'd be scared.
Thank you.
I'd be scared to death. I would be scared. I'm too insecure to.
I think the secret is having a small-ish kind of wedding.
Well, that's a
we're
huge
not looking at
factor. That's a huge factor.
we're not looking at anything more than 100 or so people.
That's a lot of people.
It's surprising because you make good beer. I mean, to me, it seemed like it was smart.
Hopefully.
It'd be a smart thing. But anyway.
But you know me. If somebody said my beer sucked, I'd take my shirt off and tackle them or I don't know, drive drunk or something.
If someone said that to me, I would specifically ask what about it so I can make it better.
I don't know.
Tell me what. Do you don't like beer? So then give me the glass back.
No. Hey,
something
Justin,
worthwhile.
you're never gonna win them all. You're never gonna. And I've said it before.
Never.
If the good outweighs the bad, you're onto something. If the bad outweighs the good, nip it in the bud.
Well, I want to hear it, right? I would be willing to listen.
You want to hear why your beer's bad the day you're getting married to the love of your life?
Okay,
fuck
that's a
that.
Good point. Let me rephrase
fuck that.
You can tell me beforehand or afterhand.
No.
Do not tell me during my wedding that my beer is garbage. I would be okay with someone telling me that, like straight up.
I wouldn't.
On this. I'm assuming that this is going to be a good batch.
No, he already did the quality control. He knows what's up.
I'm doing, I worked on it. I got a thumbs up from my fiance's family. My family would also probably like it. I know they may gravitate towards something like the sour or the porter, just because of the flavors that are in it. They're not huge on bitterness, like from an IPA, or like that boringness from that of a lager or your traditional American lager. I'm not gonna say all lagers are bad, but if it has LITE in it, generally I'm not gonna drink it. That's often not the case.
All right, Pops, that's all the time we have, man. Thanks for calling in, but I'm gonna try to figure out a way where.
Thanks, Pops. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Anything else?
I hope everything is okay.
Yeah, that's all the time we have. Yeah, it's all good. He's chilling. I think he's actually finally proud of me. I finally won over my dad's respect. 36 years old. He's finally like, it's back to the fiance thing. People are like, what are you doing? Okay, I said you could do beer in the single car garage. Now you want to film it and start a YouTube channel?
It's always one thing and then the next.
What are you doing? What the fuck are you talking about?
Especially when it comes to, what? It's not just time, but it's also money. And there's you only have so much of either, right?
Oh yeah.
And considering I work from home, my fiance works from home.
All right, we got to turn. I got to turn Discord off. I'm getting scars blowing up. pH questions right now. I'm sorry, man.
I don't even have the actual Discord open. I only have my video feed so that I can know what I look like.
Yeah, you got to know really. I'm on Discord. We're on PC right here. And then over here is my Mac, and we got to shut this up really fast. But the Discord is going. We're over here, and then I'm doing the YouTube chat. I'm not gonna do two chats in this.
Tell me about your setup. I may be able to help you, considering this is my day.
I can show it to you right now. All right, you ready for this?
Show me what you got. Yeah.
All right, so we've got.
Because I'm an IT guy, so I can at least offer my advice.
So I'm looking at you right there. Do you see that?
Not just yet, but give it like 5 seconds. It'll probably catch up on the.
This is Streamlabs on my PC right here.
Right. Of course.
You see that?
Not just yet, but I will. But go ahead, keep going. Because
you don't. Catch up. What do you mean? Oh, because you're going off YouTube. Oh, I got you.
Yeah. I can't see you.
Right.
I can only see the
okay.
YouTube.
Audio, we're on Streamlabs. Video. Okay. So this is.
Right. So I know Streamlabs. I use Streamlabs too. So big shouts. I use Streamlabs too for my live.
Here's my light up here. That's just a $30 LED light. Shout out to Iron Man, Tony Stark, Darth Vader.
Of course.
James Earl Jones, Luke Skywalker's pops. So here's my PC that took me like 2 years to build.
Okay.
Here's Goose.
I'm all about building PCs, by the way. So we may.
I might. Yeah, I definitely am gonna have some questions.
Let me know.
These are the people that send me stickers. That's Goose Fraba. That's Zach Bullpritz. That's fuck Tom Brady. He hates Tom Brady. That's Gorgeous George. That's East Mill Creek Brewing right there. So this is real time on my end. And then over here, I've got Pornhub premium package. No, I've got the YouTube, which I'm actually talking to the chat in because I can't talk to the chat through that. Right. I have to talk through here. And then over here on this computer, I'm trying to see if you're over 200 subscribers yet.
So on my side, go back. If it matters, but did I just hit 200? Delonia said congrats on 200.
I don't know.
Let me double check. Let me check my channel real quick. But here, let me check that because I kind of have to. Let me see. Yeah, 201. Wow, that's awesome.
We did it! Come on down!
We did it. Awesome. That's incredible. Thank you to everyone. There's only when it comes down to it, we as in everybody only have so much time in this world. So the fact that you all spent just a little bit of time, not even just clicking that button. Some of you may watch my videos, and that's huge. So I want to say thank you first and foremost. I could not have gotten where I am if it weren't for not just this channel, but this community.
Hey, you earned it, Brush.
Yeah, some people have been on my channel before. People like Yeast. He jumped on my channel first, and that's how I found his channel. So people like Yeast and the Beast, Vlad the Impaler, other Short Circuited, Brew Mill Tony. There's just a small handful of channels that could not have put me where I am, or I would not be where I am if it weren't for them. And 200 in the grand scheme of things is relatively low.
Yeah, but you got to put one foot in front of the other. You got to put one foot in front of the other, man. Baby steps of life.
You can't get to 1 billion until you hit 200. So my next step is 1 billion.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it, everybody.
1 billion or bust IPA. That's going to be your West Coast IPA. 1 billion or bust IPA.
I like that. I
like
the names that are completely just out there.
Right next to Lizard Tits Double IPA. Lizard Tits Double IPA. And
if you don't make that, I'm going to be really mad at you, actually.
Well, if I open a brewery.
Also, big shouts to Apartment Brewer. I've learned to build recipes from your videos. So like every video that you upload, I make sure to watch so that I can see why you chose the grains that you did. And that's what's helping me be a better brewer, not just better YouTuber, but better brewer. So see, and my fiance's here now, so we'll see if she wants to make a cameo later. But I showed her like Apartment Brewer stuff, and I was like, hey, like he's saying my channel name on live stream right now. Like last week, I was like, this is the fact that he is saying Jusbrewing in the same two back to back, and not only that, but also referencing me. I was fangirling in my chair last week. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was just grinning ear to ear, hearing both of you say my channel name and say, "Oh yeah, Justin this, Jusbrewing that. Let's get him to 175 before the end of the stream." Like, hearing that is absolutely crazy. So big shouts to Apartment Brewer. Thank you so much, just for being you again, just like CH, just like some of the other channels. Channels like the Apartment Brewer make me a better brewer, which also helps me put out better content. So. Big shouts. Thank you so much. Okay, sorry. I see the Kurt pick IPA equals I piss a lot. That's absolutely hilarious. I've never heard that.
MEC to PH.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, and you know what's cool is this works. Justin comes on, he talks about his story, he's getting married, he's starting a channel. I feel like I put stuff on Instagram or Facebook. Nobody gives a shit. I say like, hey, check out this new t-shirt or watch my friend's video. Nobody fucking cares. If you talk about this on Streamlabs or Discord, people are like,
"Yep,
yeah, I'll click on it. I'll check it out. Like, yeah, I'll give it a go." I put something on Instagram. Everybody feels like I feel like I'm a fucking idiot. It's like 600 views. Nobody bought one of my coffee mugs. I'm like, I'm never posting a coffee mug on Instagram ever again. Ever again. Yeah. It's not happening.
There's a
not even that one time.
Parallel or like just spectrum, so to speak, where. You can get something like
200 sub NBC for sure. Yeah, sorry to interrupt.
Oh yeah, we can definitely do that here in a second.
Oh yeah, we are.
But I mean, you get just with the asterisk that I mentioned earlier. You've got Instagram. Like I've got an Instagram, right, at @just_brewing. It's in the. Actually, I think it's in the description, but
back off, Wort child.
@_
probably
_brewing.
Yeah.
But I've got an Instagram, and the people that come from it are just other homebrewers. They don't even know that I have a YouTube channel, but they like look up the hashtag, or they see what other channels that they like, or in this case, Instagram accounts that they follow, and they see who they follow. I just happen to be from some of them. I probably have more Instagram followers than I do subscribers, and that's only because people on Instagram, if they come from the right community, will just go and hit double. They'll like this picture, and they'll go follow every single person under a follow list. Sometimes that's cool, sometimes it's not. But at the end of the day, any type of I don't want to use the word reaction, but any type of feedback, I think is good. I think any feedback is good feedback. Now, actually, let me rephrase that. Good feedback is good feedback, even if the feedback is necessarily bad. But if it's a good type of feedback, it doesn't have to necessarily be positive to you or your cause. But if the feedback is good, it is quality, I'll take that. I'll take someone telling me that my content is bad as long as it's quality, a quality comment. I'll take that over someone just following because they know what I look like or because they think the beer that's in my glass is cool. I'll take quality feedback over. I should probably say quality feedback. I'm gonna go one over positive feedback anytime.
And I'm gonna go one step further. I'm at the point where like White Rocks Kitchen has subscribed. Shout out to White Rocks. Justin, I'll take it one step further. I've been on social media since I don't know, the MySpace era, and like I just want beer at this point. I don't want my cousins to follow me. I know you're a little bit younger, and I was probably a little bit younger when I was a little bit different when I was 24, 25. All I want is beer. Like all I want is beer. I don't want like if my mom follows me on YouTube or YouTube would probably fuck me up too. But if you get like a friend request from like your buddy's mom on Instagram, I'm like, no, I don't know. No.
Well, that's why I've got a separate one for my channel. So
unless you started brewing beer, I'd be like, hey, that's cool. You get it, NBC. But if it's like your neighborhood's moms that are like, hey, let's be friends on the internet, I'm like, no, for what? Like, what?
Yeah.
No, unless you're, chugging NBCs with a dress and you're, I don't know, in your kitchen.
That's kind of cool. Hey, if that's your
NBCs with a dress on IPA. NBCs with a dress on IPA.
Hey, I'll take it. I mean, I like beer content. I mean, the pictures, the videos. I like seeing what people. I'm trying to skate past it. I like seeing what people bring into the world. I really enjoy the homebrew community. So, like I said earlier, big shouts to all of you guys. Anyone that's in here right now.
All right, NBC for 200 subscribers.
After the fact. NBC. Yeah, let's do an NBC for the 200 sub goal.
I'm doing a bit burger. I'm going to do something light. But I have a question. I don't know. This is for you or this is any. Why in the hell? I've just been thinking about. I'm going to start doing pressure fermenting with corny cake to corny cake, and I'm just thinking about PSI and PSI. Why are beer bottles from Europe? Why do they weigh like 400 pounds? These things weigh. Have you ever picked up a beer bottle from Europe?
I may have.
It feels like a champagne bottle. It feels like a brick. Is it because they can hold more PSI during transportation?
It could be. I mean, it could be a few things, right?
Rasmus might know.
And not in the fridge. That's probably got something to do with it. Only because you've got things like transportation. If it's at the front, it probably just got put there. I doubt they're taking all the beer that's up front on the front of the shelf and pushing it back. And then, rather, they're putting all the new stuff in the back and bringing everything that's there up to the front. You're probably getting a lot of the same, I say fresh, I don't want to use the word fresh, but new beer.
This is heavier than a wine bottle. I'll tell you right now. This is heavier than a whatever, Corbel bottle. I don't know why. It's the weirdest thing in the world. Usually you pick up like a bottle
I'm not really
of
sure.
Corona.
I probably, in the most literal sense, just picked it up in that I've looked at the imports part of Total Wine, right? That's my local, really big liquor store. I probably picked one up and realized, wow, this is weird. But a lot of the stuff that I buy is likely local. I like to support the small businesses. So I very rarely buy beer in store these days. It's either I brew it myself or I take it home from a brewery. I do, from time to time, if I know I'm not going to have anything on tap, I will buy something and get it in the fridge. Or we go somewhere and we bring generic beer and it just doesn't get drunk there or drank there. So we bring it back. Like I've got literally one Fireman's 4 in my fridge. I think we've got some Dos Equis from the last time we had some people over. I might have a Stella from like a month ago from when I went to visit my a sister-in-law for her birthday. Stuff like that. Like I do not buy beer very often. I very much like supporting the little man. So like finding local breweries, buying it from them, at the tap room. That's the stuff that I'm about. So I noticed that I'm not in those liquor stores often unless we're preparing for a video.
All right, well, we got an NBC coming right here. I got to drain the main vein. We're going to go 3, 2, 1. This is to Jusbrewing out there in Austin, Texas. What's your number count? This is like the...
This would be my number. So I'm going in order, actually. So
no, subscriber. 204 to 204.
Wow,
all right, ass and titties. 204. All right, you ready? 3, 2, 1.
Wow, I just made a giant mess on camera.
I've been there. I've been there.
So there was about half a beer left. I thought, I can fit all of that in my mouth. I was wrong.
It happens.
I just made a big mess.
It's happened.
All right. I made sure to bring some rags.
All right, Justin, hold it down. I'm going to go drain the main vein.
Yeah, of course.
And throw up and probably do some other weird shit. Hold it down.
Yeah, take your time. So I'm keeping my eye on the chat. It looks like, let's see, limited rum, porter, NBC. Yeah, no, definitely. What's up, T-Man? I see Jusbrewing ? That is me. Brew Show, big shouts to you as well. I think I discovered you on Instagram before YouTube, actually. So big shouts to the Instagram algorithm for introducing me to you. I very much like the quality of your videos. That's one big thing that I try to strive for is high quality. I find that I do not upload videos if they don't meet my standards. So I've gone about not uploading a few videos because it does not meet my standards. So big shouts to you. I really like the flow of your videos. I hope to make mine hopefully close to yours. Not in the steely way, but I like what you're doing, and I'm going to hope to make mine better by emulating some of the stuff that you do. Christopher Vadika, do I have a favorite style? Yes. My favorite style of beer is IPA all the way. I absolutely love hazies and West Coast IPAs, even traditional ones or old school. I like IPAs mostly because of that variety that you get. IPA means so much, and an IPA from like a big beer company and an IPA from a local brewery, they're not all the same. Even if they're the same smash, single malt, single hop, even if they use the exact same recipe, the little guy is probably going to make it better, in my opinion. So I very much like IPAs and where they go. Apartment Brewer, what's your favorite wedding beer so far? I'm not going to lie to you. I don't really like Pilsners that much, but I've out loud said I'm thinking about that Pilsner. I've very much been looking forward to doing a pseudo lager, mostly because up until now, since I haven't had a fermentation chamber, I haven't bothered with fermentation temperatures. So anything that can ferment properly and all the way at room temp, so anywhere between 69 to 73, that's usually where our AC lives. So anything that can ferment properly in there is what I'm going for. I really like the pseudo lager that we did, just fermenting it at room temp with USL05. Excuse me, the most basic yeast you can get. I'm pretty sure it's USO5. But that's my I absolutely, of all my wedding beers right now, I think that might be my favorite, which is really weird because I love IPAs. I love porters, specifically this hazelnut porter. That's probably my second best beer I ever brewed. What's my go-to brewery in the Austin area? I very much like 512. They make one of my favorite IPAs, if not my favorite go-to IPAs. I have a few different favorite beers, and that's a really weird question for me because how can I just choose just one, right? But I very much love 512 IPA. I think it checks all the boxes for me for what makes a good beer, specifically a good IPA. So that's my go-to. My favorite brewery in the Austin area to go to is Meanwhile Brewing Company. They're pretty new. They actually opened during the pandemic. So during COVID, within the last 8 or so months, they've been open. And they're absolutely awesome. It's a mostly outdoor. Right now, there's no indoor seating. There's absolutely no way to sit down inside. The only thing the inside is just for ordering beer. They do have an outdoor counter as well, but when you walk in, right when you get into the property, you can go in and get a beer. Meanwhile Brewing Company is my absolute favorite brewery in the area. They're not only close, but they've got a lot of space outside. The property itself is all over about 2 or 3 acres, maybe like 2 and some change acres. So that makes it really easy to social distance. Myself and my fiance are not going to places that do not have the right regulations in place because we're not going to put ourselves at risk, let alone other people. But for places that we see that are doing it right, we'd be willing to at least try it. If it works, we'll come back. I promise. I'm actually relatively, as you can imagine, I'm not a forgettable silhouette, so to speak. So I get recognized there, which is kind of cool just because I've said, hey, I really like this place. I've got a YouTube channel. Is there a way we can do something together? They've helped me with glasses. I've got a shirt from them. I've got a few other things from that brewing company. I absolutely love them.
Over, baby.
So that's awesome. Do I like Jester King? I know the name, but I don't know that I've had any of their breweries or beers from that brewery. Caramel in my IPA. I would try it. I would be willing to try it. I've never had an IPA with
Jorge
Castro.
I would
try it.
What up, Jorge?
Christopher Vadika, same here with the IPA. I primarily brew only hazies and pales. I have only brewed ales, and most of the beers that I have brewed, I won't say most, but a good number have been IPAs, mostly out of convenience. And
these are so heavy.
I want to drink, and what the people around me want to drink. So
what up, Brian?
When I was living with my brother and my sister, I made sure to ask them from time to time, hey, what do you want to drink? Because I'm gonna need help drinking this. I'm gonna need help kicking the keg. But since it's just myself and my fiance, I pretty much brew what we want to drink with some test stuff and experimental stuff in between for YouTube videos. I really wanted to see what I could do with nitro, so I brewed a couple nitro beers recently and made sure I had a full setup for that. So that's been going on. Yeah, we absolutely love. I mean, my fiance's getting a little bit more familiar with beer now. She actually out loud said, "Hey, I like IPAs now." So that's been really cool. She's her palate has been expanding over the last few years since I've been brewing and since we've been together. So it's been a lot of fun. Just like mine. I mean, her palate's growing as well.
Justin,
I know that she likes
sorry.
Belgian beers, so I make sure to try to keep a Belgian beer on tap from time to time.
Justin, I got a question for you. We're coming back to me now. So you grew up military family. We talked about it on the podcast for those who are listening. Yep. Your parents, you said your parents do not drink, but they've supported the shit out of you through all of this. Mm-hmm. Was there ever kind of like, not like coming out of the closet, but like, hey, like, guys, mom and dad, I want to brew beer. Like, is this cool? Do you have my back? Or is this a thing?
It was one of those. It was one of those. Don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness kind of situations.
Yeah.
My sister. It was
I know
my sister's
those.
idea. So the fact that I'm on this live stream right now, the fact that I'm in my chair doing this live stream is all shout out to my sister. So much love to her. But it was her idea for me to start brewing my own beer. She knew that I was a stickler when it came to beer because we would have people over. She may have a friend over or something like that. And we would get to talking beer. I mean, it kind of comes up. And I would be like, hey, this is what I like to drink. And they just wouldn't know anything. So my sister was like, why don't you brew it yourself? Like, why have you not considered that? And I don't know. I haven't. I probably could. I don't know if I want to, though. And then she goes, what if I bought you a homebrew kit? And I goes, well, I love free stuff. So if you're telling me free stuff is involved, I'd give it a shot.
Were you wasted? Would you party in high school? Because you said, I know on your 21st birthday you went for blood, but like, were you consistently partying in high school?
Not really.
Would your parents whip your ass? I mean,
sure. My parents, my mom, or my dad and because I was living with my dad and my stepmom at the time. Towards the tail end of high school, I lived with my mom right at the beginning of high school.
Yeah.
At the tail end, I moved out and lived with my dad and my stepmom. My mom would be a no-go if she's still watching. Mom, you would have been a no-go. He's
of age now, and
my dad and my stepmom would have let me go if she knew the people. So if I said, hey, Tommy, even though I did not have a friend named Tommy, but if I said, hey, my friend Tommy is gonna throw a party, there's gonna be drinking. Can I go? She may say yes if you text me every hour and a half, or if you tell me if I know you're safe. Yes, you can go.
It's a good parent.
I probably could have. No. She would let us have like a glass of wine at home for New Year's, for instance. Like I was
like a junior in high school. You could have your parents would give you.
Yeah. I was actually that was my first taste of alcohol was a shot of tequila with her.
That's ballsy nowadays. Ballsy nowadays. You know, that's that old school shit. You take a picture of that, put it on the internet.
It's up to your parents, at least up until I think if you're 18. I think
a little bit different than California, man.
That's a little different.
You're fired from your job if that makes the internet, man.
If you're at home, right? If you're at a restaurant, your parents cannot let you have alcohol. But if you're at home, technically, if you're over 18, and don't quote me on this, I'm gonna say don't drink if you're under 21. But I'm pretty sure it's something to the effect of it's up to your parents at home. It's your parents' discretion if they feel as though you're capable of handling it at home. So my New Year's, I was like, man, you never let us do anything. And she goes, do you want to take a tequila shot right now? And I go, sure, I'll take a tequila shot, having never had tequila in my life before. So that was my first rude awakening, so to speak. I did go to like a going away party for when I graduated high school. And that was probably under 21, the most drunk that I got.
You know what's the trick behind that? And this is a CH trick. I've invented this trick. When someone's like, hey, I will not drink tequila. I hate tequila. Don't say Jose Cuervo. You say it's cool. You're not drinking tequila. You know what? Drink this instead. They go, what is it? I go, it's 1800. It's 1800. They're like, oh, okay. And they drink it. They still throw up at the bar and you got to clean up. But like, they don't know they don't know that 1800 is tequila. You know, people know that like Casadoras and anything that's Spanish or Jose Cuervo sounding is tequila. Like, it's all good, man. You don't have to do it.
1800.
We're just doing 1800. It's an easy fix. You know, next thing you know, like they're passed out in the bathroom and people are hitting the bar door open and close and it's missing their head by like 2 inches, you know. But
no, when I first got into drinking,
we should be stupid.
Realized that drinking was not what it was in the movies. I was actually, so my dad is not one for getting drunk or like drinking beer or alcohol or liquor or anything like that, but he'll have a wine cooler or two. Like he will have a wine cooler or two. That will happen.
That's so like not cool that it's cool. You know,
yeah,
like
exactly. So like outside of the first drop of alcohol that I ever had, anytime I was having alcohol in that I was drinking, so one alcoholic beverage to another.
Thanks,
it was
Dad.
wine coolers up until 20. Yeah. So
Cheers,
big
Pops.
shouts to my dad. He's not watching this right now. If he is, how did you get this link? Shouldn't you be doing something else?
Well, does your dad watch your
in bed
YouTube
right
channel?
now.
Does he watch your YouTube streams?
He knows I have one. He knows that I brew beer at home and that it's a hobby and a passion of mine. But I don't think he's subscribed in any way, shape, or form. Big shouts to Paul Hardy on the $5 super chat.
That's my dad. That's Papa. That's Papa Smurf.
Wow, thanks, Pops.
That's
wow,
big dog.
Thank you.
You were
awesome, yeah.
You were cracking me up on your podcast So you were talking about like, you're like, my dad's a drill sergeant. You're like, he knows all the bullshit. He knows how to like sniff out a hangover, how to get over a hangover, like what like the ultimate like. How to show up to work at 7 a.m. and look fucking normal no matter what it takes. All the tricks of the
one
trade.
Thing he's going to teach you. So my dad is relatively straight edge, with some exceptions. He's never smoked before. He is not big on drinking.
I did not inhale.
Yeah, but my dad he won't teach you how to. He would show you how to get out of it. Right. In this case, he's not big on drinking, but hey, you better drink that water. Like you need to be if you're gonna do this, you're gonna be prepared for it. So I absolutely love my dad. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not, for whatever reason,
dads are cool.
I hate seeing when he calls me. Like anytime I see my dad calling me, and if he's watching this right now, on the off chance he is, he always says this.
It strikes fear into you. It strikes fear into you.
Like, oh my!
Doesn't matter.
I wouldn't say fear.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
yeah, it does.
What could you possibly need?
Yeah,
that
it does.
You can't text me right now. Like,
well, that's everybody. It's like you get a phone call nowadays. It's like,
yeah.
What did somebody die or win the lotto? I mean, why didn't you just text me? Like, whoa, we got a phone call.
Growing up in high
someone
school,
knocked at the door and the phone's ringing.
Shout out to T-Man for the $5 super chat.
Shout out to T-Man.
Yeah,
Pittsburgh
T-Man.
Steelers fan of the house, man.
But growing up with two.
Why is somebody calling me?
It actually was surprisingly easy now that I think about it. And I only say that because I was the good kid. So you
stayed out of trouble. That's why it's easy.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're hanging out on rooftops and trying to climb up on fucking Blockbuster Video at 14 years old to steal Game Boy Color like I am, it's probably a nightmare. But if you know how to behave, it's probably cool as shit.
I watched my siblings. My oldest brother he's not the worst by any means.
Sounds like he's bad.
But he's a little rough around the edges, right? My oldest brother. He'll be 30 soon, I'm pretty sure.
We've all got
I don't know how old
those.
this guy is.
We've all got those.
I love my family to death. But my oldest brother was the example, so to speak. And then my older brother, so the one a half step below him but above me, he was a pretty boy, so he couldn't get in trouble. And then my sister was at the time growing up was the only girl, so she also couldn't get in trouble, which left me. So I watched my oldest brother get his shit kicked in. I watched my older brother get away with everything, and then my little sister get away with everything. And I was like, look, I don't want to get in trouble. Like I don't want to do anything. I'm just gonna wait until my mom says yes, and here we are. So I wasn't necessarily like the golden child by any means, but I could say I could confidently say I was the favorite. Yeah, I could say that.
I like it. What I'm pulling up right now, you're not going to see it for 5 seconds, but this is behind the brew show scenes right now. He's doing that artist thing. He's doing that self-expression thing. He's combining art with beer. He's combining art with beer.
The fact that the brew show, those are that's quality. Like that's not just like high definition. That's like super good quality. That's good content. And there's a difference.
Brew Show kills it with a camera that you can't even buy anymore. Yep. He kills it with a Canon T2i. Shout out to Ron Jeremy.
Ron Jeremy, yeah.
Ron Jeremy.
Shout outs for the super chat.
Ron, if you could do us another solid and subscribe to the link in the bio to Jusbrewing. We're trying to actually get him up to 220 tonight. Come on down to 205. Coming to the 208.
I'm gonna try to pump a video out probably before I'll be going out of town over the next few days after the weekend.
Where are you going?
But I'm gonna try to.
You going to Orlando with Maury? You guys doing some side
vacation since COVID?
Oh, right on, man.
We're going to Chicago. Yeah.
Hell yeah! Shout out to.
Yeah, we went to Colorado at the end of last year. So like last December. Let me rephrase that. The December of 2019. Yeah. We went to Colorado kind of on a whim. Kind of as a celebratory trip from when I got my job at Google. But we went to Colorado, had a good time, and then the only other time that I've traveled anywhere since then was in February when I first got my job at Google. That was when they flew me out to California. So that was the last time I was on a plane, was last February. And just a little bit longer for my fiance. Dude. So we're like, you know what? Things are looking good now. We're confident in our ability to scope out places as to whether or not it's safe to go.
Yeah.
Because we would rather just stay in an Airbnb on our own, like not see anybody, and just walk around the city or something, and like not step into an establishment. Like that's what we'd rather do. But we know that there's going to be some places that know what they're doing, and where we can go, and everyone's going to be safe. So we're going to try to go have a good time in Colorado. I'm sorry, not Colorado, but Chicago from Friday to Wednesday. So that'll be fun. I'm going to try to record and upload a video before I go. And I'm hoping that I can continue keeping up the steam, so to speak. I'm going to hope that YouTube, the algorithm can play in my favor for once.
Well, I'm jealous because I probably haven't been on an airplane in 3 years. I used to go to New Orleans every year by myself.
Oh yeah, I heard you talk about that over a few of the broadcasts. We love New Orleans.
Best thing ever.
We really want to go again.
What's your brewery out there? Which I don't even remember. I don't
even remember.
The dumbest question I've ever asked.
When we went to New Orleans, I don't really remember.
You know where like the crescent is, where New Orleans is, the street you're on from bird's eye view. It looks like the moon. It looks like a crescent. There's two big breweries like right there. It's like there's breweries, and then there's like places where it's like you get a 40 ounce of rum mixed with like a 7-Eleven Slurpee, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go to the brewery. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the brewery. You know, like I can't drink.
We stopped and got gas. And
a drive-through daiquiri house.
Yeah, it was like, absolutely crazy. Like
this is 40 ounces of vodka for $10.
To Louisiana.
How does this work?
And
this is not California at all.
And boyfriend were with us, so it was the four of us going, and we just like stopped in the first gas station just because that was where we needed to stop. And I saw like Crown and like Tito, not necessarily Tito's, but like other like big vodka places that are like, you know, distilleries. And I was like, wait, liquor is in this gas station? And they looked at me like,
drive-through liquor.
This is Louisiana, guy.
Drive-through.
Did you not
40
know
ounce
before you got here?
In California, we think of 40s and we're like, oh, 40 ounces of beer. No. In Louisiana, it's a 40 ounce of rum daiquiri to a guy who's driving a car.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. That's the thing about America is every state has their own jurisdiction over their alcohol laws. And you're talking about in Texas, you're like, it's super strict in some, you know, avenues.
In some capacities, yes.
But in some
capacities, it's very strict.
And then you're like, hey, if you want to have a party, you have to like legally have a bodyguard. Like if you want to have a wedding,
we need to pay for security in order to serve alcohol at our wedding.
And you will get a ticket if you don't legally hire a bouncer.
Yep.
Yeah, like we don't have that in California. Security. We don't have that at all in California.
But you have to have security if you're going to have alcohol at an event like that. Even though I will know and have seen every single person that's showing up, and they wouldn't be showing up. We didn't trust them, especially right now in today's world. If we did not trust them, they're not getting an invite. Like,
fair enough.
You can get we're going to try to live stream it too. So you can get the live stream link. Like you can get the link, no problem. But you may not get an invite. No offense.
What are the craziest places to drink alcohol in America? It's got to be New Orleans and Las Vegas, right?
Yep, those are my two.
Just walking around fucked up, talking to cops at 4 a.m. In California, that's like probably a $2,500 fine, a day in jail. You're probably fired from your job. And you probably, the worst thing about all that is you probably posted 10 selfies on Instagram and then you lost your phone and you can't see how fucking dumb you were till Monday.
Yeah, I mean, luckily...
in New Orleans, you're like, I wake up, I'm not in jail, I could just delete all this stuff, I don't have to live in shame, I'm not going to get
it's not
fired.
going to matter.
No, California, if you drink a beer on the beach, it's like $1,000 fine.
I mean, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
Can you drink beers on the beach in the Gulf in Texas?
If it's not in glass, I bet each big.
That's a big rule.
Beach is probably different. But
That's
if you
a
don't
huge
have glass,
rule.
You're probably good.
That's a huge
the
rule.
rule. Not alcohol,
Dude,
but glass.
I learned that in New Orleans. If you go up to a cop at 4 a.m. with 40 ounces of rum, a big gulp of rum, and you're like, "Hey, what up, cop? Fuck you, cop on a horse, piece of shit. I'll take a pee right here. Yada yada yada. Everything's good." If it's a Heineken bottle, he's like, "Whoa, you're going to jail." Like, you know, kiss.
Like you shouldn't have that.
Kiss your weekend goodbye. And I was like, "What? This guy with a 40 ounce of a daiquiri is off the hook." But I'm outside.
They were driving, by the way.
And they're driving.
Until then, they got out of their car to go talk to go harass.
Yeah, a lot of states it comes down to glass. If you have glass, that's worse. Like than anything. That's worse than. I mean, and I get that broken glass.
Stay here too long, but at the end of the day,
let's stay here all night. I'm set up my teepee.
Like, if you're being disrespectful, that's one thing. But if you're breaking the law, that's a whole other thing. Like being disrespectful is not against the law.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, of all things, like glass, like, isn't there street cleaners in the morning? You know, like there's guys that brush the streets off. I know it's got throw up and pit. Like I've been, my dad who's listening. Has anyone here actually been to like Bourbon Street? I haven't been there for Mardi Gras.
Yeah, I hung out there, not for Mardi Gras.
Not for Mardi Gras, but it's still gnarly. You know, it's still gnarly. And the next day,
it's wild.
Yeah. You know, at the end of the day, it's like if I'm a cop or the mayor, I got to run a city. It's like, here's what I got to worry about. My biggest thing is probably drinking and driving and people crashing cars. Glass is what I'm not worried about. Glass is not what I'm worried about. So it's just kind of ironic how it's kind of backwards. But it's just, hey, at the end of the day, it's state by state.
But that's America for you.
That's America. You know, like that. I don't know why. Whatever. I don't want to get too political, but like, is it who's in charge of the state? Is it governors or senators?
The governor. The senators are at the city level, I believe.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the governor is of the state, and then the senators are below are collectively help the state, and then there's mayors at the city level.
Yeah, I know mayors are city. Mayors are like big cities, and then what's House of Representatives based off like how many people are in the state?
That's a good question. I do not remember
because I know California has like a ton.
Politics, but I'll let you figure that out. Big shouts to Barry McCockner. There we go. McCockner. Hardly know her. And big shouts to you.
Wrecked him. Damn near killed him. What's up, Barry McCockner? Cheers to you, Brosh.
Big shouts to Barry on 2 super chats, not just 1 but 2. At least there was one earlier that I think I forgot to mention. But
let's go back.
Let you run the chat real quick. I'm gonna, as CH says, go drain the main vein.
Drain the main vein. I want to know what.
I'll be right back.
What goes on in Las Vegas nowadays? Is it gnarlier than Louisiana? It's got to be probably the same. I mean, how far can you push alcohol? You can buy it in Louisiana you can buy a shot in New Orleans at 3:30 in the morning. And not only will they give you a shot, but they'll ask you, do you want it in plastic? And you're like, why would you want it in plastic? And they're like, because do you want to take it to go? And you're like, what on God? It's from California people. If you're from California, Kurt Brunch Pick. If you're from California, and it's probably a good rule that you should, you know, if I hear last call at a bar in California, I'm already like, fuck, I blew it. I'm too old for this. Like, fuck. And it's what, 1 a.m. or 1:15? There is people in Louisiana and Las Vegas that are getting shots to go in plastic at 4 a.m. And I guess at the end of the day, I've always kind of said that, you know, it doesn't matter if it's legal or not. People are going to get it. But it's just so weird from a business standpoint from Californians to be like, okay, I'm going to get 2 shots in little, you know, those little plastic cups that the dentist gives you to like spit out. Those little like mouthwash air fresheners. They will fill those up with vodka and tequila. And you can take 2. And if you do fuck up, if you do crash your car or, you know, something really bad happens, it's on you. In California, they go to the last place that served you, which is total bullshit because you have no idea like what happened in between then. But it's just so weird and it's rad just comparing and contrasting like how it is just what's, legal from state to state. Obviously alcohol has been, around, but now it's California got to marijuana first. Now Oregon's marijuana first, and you go to Oregon, me and my girlfriend were up there a couple of years ago, and you go into a place and they're like, hey, here's $10. You get 2 joints and you walk out and you're like, no questions asked. Like it was 7-Eleven. 10 years ago, that's probably 6 months prison time in California. You're just like, whoa, like it's America, but it's not America. There's a little kind of, for anybody who's been to Mexico or Tijuana, it's like, it's a little bit America, but there's also kind of like a little anything kind of goes, which is super rad. There's the Brew Show. I just put you on blast, you brunjo. Shout out to Trent. He's out there shooting. He's putting out content. We got some people in the chat. We got Elementary Brew Co. out there in Visalia. Hoppy Hour on the road. We're coming out to
as long as you're not drinking.
Well, that's what I said. This is the best place to drink because no one's driving anywhere. That looks like a good beer, man. Is that Cinnamar? Is that your stout?
This is my porter. Yeah.
Is that your Coors Light? Porter.
Super simple grain bill. I could go over it if you want.
Yeah.
But I've got about 5 pounds of hazelnuts. I did about 4 in the mash, about 4.5 in the mash, and actually dry hopped with some hazelnuts, about a half pound there, just for a little bit of extra aroma and maybe a little. I'm not sure if it helped with the color of the foam, but I noticed that this time around the foam is a little more toffee colored than the first time I did it. That was the only big difference was the dry hop of the half pound of hazelnuts.
I'm gonna send this to Maury right now.
But super good. Yeah, we had a murder mystery for my fiance's dinner for my fiance's birthday this past year. And this was like I only had a 1-tap kegerator at the time, and this was what was on tap.
We're buzzing.
It was an extract recipe, so it's a little bit different now, but super good. It smells good. It tastes good. Same thing like on the other beers. Like this is doing okay for now, but I really want to work on head retention. So I'm hoping that my beers from here on out can continue holding on to what might be a full head of foam, opposed to like it just dissipating after 10 minutes of sitting in the glass.
Hoppy Hour road trip. Come to Denmark. GoFundMe.
Wow. Yeah, that'd be a road trip right there, getting to Denmark.
Can we road trip to Denmark? Is that even humanly possible? No, if you went through North Canada?
No, I don't think you can drive to. Because I don't think there's any way to get one vehicle to Europe like that. I mean, rather away from North America.
There's no Arctic connection or. Santa Claus shit.
I mean, Santa Claus could probably do it. Yeah.
For the record, don't watch the movie. I just watched a Santa Claus movie with Mel Gibson, and for the one time in my life, this happens a lot, but for 2 hours, I didn't know like what the fuck was going on. It's called like Mr. Check this movie out or don't. It's one of those movies where it's so bad you're kind of like, is this going to be a sleeper cult movie in 10 years from now? It's called The Fat Man or The Bad Man. But it's Mel Gibson as Santa Claus, but people want to kill him because they didn't get what they wanted when they were kids. And he's living in Canada, and he's an alcoholic, and it's Mel Gibson. It's the weirdest fucking movie I've seen in my entire life.
Sounds like a lot of things going on.
I know, and not only that, but if you actually think about the reality of that, there's like, okay, we're going to have somebody that writes this movie, and now we're going to have like somebody that thinks, hey, this is a good idea. Let's find a money guy. And there's a money guy, a Miramax, whatever. And now let's like, okay, we have the money. Let's get Mel Gibson to be Santa Claus. It's like I was watching the whole time. I'm just thinking like, this is why like South Park exists. Like this is why like there needs to be things to make fun of things because this is insane. But it could be one of
a not great movie to be.
No, it's the guy from the Hateful Eight. He's in what's the movie with what's the new show with John Goodman and God, what's his name?
Show? With
John Goodman? What's the sitcom with the family that goes around and they're like white hillbilly religious and they do like speaking in front of people and they make a ton of money. They're pretty much like a concert, but what's it called?
I don't see a TV. I've got the.
Pull it up right now. Type in John Goodman and.
I've got John Goodman's IMDb pulled up.
All right.
Now.
So what's the movie with the guy from Eastbound and Down? What's the guy's name from Eastbound and Down?
Movies. Okay. Do you remember what year this is?
Righteous
okay, so
Gemstones. Chris Vodka. Righteous Gemstones.
That work.
Okay, Righteous Gemstones. Righteous Gemstones. It's the guy from Righteous Gemstones and Mel Gibson's Santa Claus, and the guy from Righteous Gemstones from The Hateful Eight is trying to kill him because when he was a little kid, he got like a lump of coal. And you're like, this movie is psychotic. The idea of this movie is fucking insanity. This is insane. Like if you took the most insane person from Arkham Asylum and were like, hey, you need to write a movie, this is what you'd get. Like a little kid.
They were like, oh, I've already got one in mind.
Yeah, I didn't get what I wanted for Christmas when I was a little kid. So I went on this like dark, destructive hitman path through life. And that's what happens. And at the end of the tunnel, I want to kill Santa Claus. And we're going to make a movie out of it. And guess who we're going to cast as Santa Claus? Mel Gibson. The dude that played Lethal Weapon and Braveheart. That's how we're going with this. This is what we're doing. And people are like, yeah.
Well, who else are you going to cast?
I don't know. Tim
when
Allen?
When this movie come out?
Look at it.
There's already one Santa Claus. I don't know.
The Fat Man too.
When this movie came out.
I'm blown away. Like I have a hard time thinking of like Homebrew for Life $5 bullshit videos to make. It's like that was the dumbest idea ever, and I don't know. I'm out of everything, man. Like just when I don't know, you thought that. You saw the dumbest thing in the world, something even dumber pops out. But, there's also those things where it's like so bad it's good, right? Like in the 80s movies, there's like 8-foot tarantula spiders that go into a town and want to kill everybody. It's like...
Watch them tear people apart.
Yeah, and it's kind of one of those things where it's like it's so bad that it's cool, right? It's kind of like... Yeah. It's kind of like when I see Prince or... I would even go as far as saying like Jimi Hendrix or Austin Powers or Brian Jones. When they dress like that, I don't even know what you call that, where you have like the flare up. Like imagine what Austin Powers and Prince dress like. Where it's like if I dress like that, everybody hates me and I can't pull any of that off. But if you're Austin Powers or you're Prince or you're Brian Jones or Jimi Hendrix, it's like you made it cool. Like any other guy, it was like so fucking whack.
Well, yeah,
but these guys, but only Prince can wear that. Like only Prince is the only motherfucker on planet Earth that could wear like pink whatever, sing songs about like raspberry beret, and people are like, I want to buy that. And then you get fucking a shitty white guy like me, and you put that on, and your friends are like, what are you doing? Who do you think you are? And then you're back to the backwards hat and the beard to hide.
Well, I mean, there's just some things that like I know that I can pull off, right? Like who else can do this, right? Like not many people can do this exactly.
The comb in the hair, yeah, I can pull that off. I can pull that off. Just if I don't wash my hair for 30 days, I can pull that off.
I mean, okay,
fight the power.
In the most literal sense, it is not hard for me to get my hair this way, and I get people to ask me.
That's sure what I'm working with
quite often, but. I know that eventually I may end up losing my hair. Right, my dad is 50 now, so he's going to be 51 this year. So it's the back end for him. So I know eventually I'm going to be losing my hair. So I'm going to try to take advantage of it while I can. But really, it's just a matter of not cutting it, and then when I do, cutting it a specific way. Like that's about it. Now I have had my hair in this box cut for probably 2.5. Probably almost definitely over 3 years, probably closer to the 4-year mark. So my hair is trained now to kind of stay like this.
Your hair knows what's up.
Yeah. It's easy at this point. Now, it was not as easy when I was first starting.
No.
I do keep it on me at all times because you never really know when you need it. It's also a part of my look now. Like you couldn't tell, but my logo, I'm actually wearing my pick in my logo.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, you can't see it because just the angle of the camera. I'm 6'2". So like my camera.
You're 6'2"?
Yeah, I'm 6'2". So I'm a little bit taller than most.
How much do you weigh?
You really want to know?
Sure.
Like $160.
Oh shit, man! You got that.
I'm not crazy.
You got that track build.
Yeah, I'm pretty slender, as people have said.
You got to work with what you got. Like Maury wears earrings. Maury, you know Maury from the channel?
Yeah, of course I do.
Okay, Maury.
I want to have a beer with him. Tell him I want to have a beer with him.
Maury's one of the coolest guys I've ever met in my life.
I can see that. I can tell.
Maury wears earrings. He wears earrings, and he just pulls it off. He'll wear like a train conductor hat, smoke cigs, wear sandals. He has earrings. Nobody bats an eye. If I put earrings on, I look like a grandmother. People are like, "What?"
Get earrings. My fiance, and she turned around. Yep.
Well, some people have it.
My ears pierced. She wants me to get my nose pierced. Mostly, she's not the only one. Some people can work with it. Some people can't. I don't know yet. I've taken piercings and like put them to see what they look like. But honestly, I'm afraid. I'm not big on change, and that's a huge change. Having a piercing, that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Hey, Brian just gave me something. I might be onto something. I might meet you halfway on this. How about this? Comb in the beard. Can anybody rock a comb in the beard?
I'm sure technically. I've got a variety pack of picks, and it sounds so weird out loud. But some that are like small, like all of this big, and then some that are like a little bit bigger, and then ones like the one that I have now. Like my hair is too long to have anything shorter than this. You
would need that Peter Griffin beard. You would need that, that bird's nest. The bird's nest. Yeah.
And I've tried. Like I've tried growing a beard, but my follicles are all up here. All the good ones are up here, and I've worked on it and tried to figure it out. All the good follicles are up here. The ones down here, this is going on. I have not been clean shaven in over probably 4 years, 3-4 years. Actually, no, it's been longer because when I was waiting tables at my very first job, as a part of the men's uniform, you had to be clean shaven. You were not in uniform if you had stubble, which means they would send you home or send you to the bathroom with a plastic razor and some shaving cream to get into uniform.
That's pretty standard. I mean, you and my dad probably have a little bit in common. My dad, his pops was an officer. Grandpa Ray, rest in peace. Yeah, same shit. You gotta, if you rocked a beanie or you had like facial hair or something, it was a sign of like you were a bum. Like you like didn't have a,
Yeah, they were not a big fan of that.
No.
Restaurant.
Who made the beard cool? Like lumberjacks from the 80s? But back in the day, if you look at movies in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, all military, nobody had a beard. You could, I guess, have a mustache. My grandfather had a mustache
thing, and that was probably it. You could maybe like recently they've started relaxing those rules. I say recently as in like the last 5 years, they started relaxing those rules where you can have your hair in a certain way. You can have tattoos as long as they're not like showing against
gang related or something, or if it's like,
you can do something. There are ways that they can, like, you can get a quote unquote get away with it if it's not a problem elsewhere.
Right.
So it all kind of depends.
Right.
Yeah, I don't really know who made it cool. I mean, as you've mentioned, I am 25 years old. I'll be 26 this year. I get ID'd everywhere, and I hate taking out my ID.
Take it. No, fuck that, bro. Take it as a compliment. Take it as a compliment. Anybody who's my age would love to get ID'd. Once you get to,
I should start taking my ID out. I just have it ready. I definitely should.
Justin, once you get to 30, it's obnoxious. Over 30, it's a compliment. People are like, "Hey, can I see your ID?" You're like, fuck yeah. Like, you want my passport or like my California ID or my driver's license? Like, yeah, I'm fucking still cool and young. I got shit figured out still.
I mean, there's a few things, but
22-year-old kids, 22-year-old kids would come into Booze Brothers or Culture where I work at. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, hey, let me see your ID. It's a 22-year-old kid born in like 1997. And he's like, oh, really, bro? And I'm like, no, I'm kidding. I'm really, And they grab their ID and they'll just toss it on the counter. They'll literally grab their fucking ID like this, and they'll be like, "Here's you see my ID," and like drop it like that. And I'll look at it. More often than not, pretty close to 100% of the time, they're 21. And I'll just like, "Here's your ID," and then I'll just drop it right in front of him, and he'll click clack around and shit. And I'm just like, "Hey, man, prepare for 8 more years of this shit. Because this is just how it is. This is just life, And then you hit that 30-year-old threshold and you're like, I would pay money for somebody to card me again. You know, it's just younger people want to look older. Older people want to look younger with haircuts, with clothes, with being carded, with cars, with music, with, you know.
There, I don't want to show all the things of my
social security number, bank account info.
East ask. Here's my actual license. There you can see my date of birth. I don't want to show anything other than my name and my date of birth, but yeah, I am actually 25 years old.
You started this channel when you were what, 23? October of 2000.
This was I started brewing.
By the way, what are you at right now? What are you at?
I started when I was 24 and some change.
207 subscribers. Justin, hold it down. I got to drain the main
vein.
That's right.
Of course.
BRB, baby.
All right, let me check the chat. Let's see. I did see someone mention. I forgot who it was. Christopher Vodka, 6'2" and pushing 185. I know that my lifestyle is going to catch up with me. All the beer I drink, all the food I eat, it's going to catch up to me. My dad is probably 170, 180, and he's still pretty fit. Then again, as I mentioned earlier, he at one point was a drill sergeant. He's still in the military in the Army Reserves. So he has to keep up his physique in order to pass PT tests and stuff like that. But before he had been to he had been deployed to Iraq like 3 times, I think, over his career. And each time he's gone, he's had to bulk up. So he knows how to put on 15, 20 pounds over a matter of a few months, 15, 20 pounds of muscle. So he's been 205, 215 at 6'1", because I'm a little bit taller than my dad now. But I think at his time, he was, 6 even or 6'1", all of 200, 215, I think at his most. And it was 80, 90% muscle just because, that's just what we're working with. Goose, you said, what about the headphone hair smash? So I don't generally wear headphones. I'm always in video chats for work, whether it's because I want to be or because I have a meeting. I'm almost always in video chats. If I happen to have any coworkers watching right now, they can tell you. I look forward to the video chats that we're in, but I'm almost never wearing headphones, mostly because it messes up my hair. The only reason that I'm wearing headphones now is because I'm in the live stream. I don't want to bother my fiance, who's now in here, with the stuff that I say and hear. But I also want to be able to hear myself. Currently, I can't hear myself, and I'm not sure why that is. But I can still hear CH, and that's what matters. So, yeah, things are looking good. It's just one of those things. Is my dad sounds like a beast? He kind of is in that instance, in that he can just put on 15 pounds and let it drop like it's nothing. But then again, the military will do that to you. He's been in the Army for longer than I have been alive. So he's pushing probably close to 30 years of Army experience, and I am pushing 26 of existence experience. So there's a big difference there. He knows what he's doing. I look younger than my picture. My ID picture, I usually go about trying to, I don't know. I usually wear glasses. For the live stream, I took my glasses off and put my contacts in because I have a key light above me, and it is now 10 o'clock my time. So it's pretty dark outside, and I needed to make sure I could be seen, considering I have dark skin. So I have a key light here, again, for video calls and stuff like that. So what you're seeing for this live stream may be a little different than what I generally look like for real life. I usually have my glasses on. I definitely have my pick in my hair if my hair's not twisted. For those that know what I mean, you know what I'm talking about. I generally have my pick in my hair because I need it. My hair falls just like anybody else does. It stays up mostly, again, because of the training that it's been in for the last 4 years. But my hair does fall, so that's what the pick is for. It's also a part of my look. It's a part of my image. So I have 2 or 3 picks around me at all times. I've got 2 within arm's reach right now. I usually have one in my car when I go places, and I keep one in the bathroom for when I need to pick my hair out when I'm washing my hair.
Justin, what are you drinking right now? What are you murdering in front of you?
I still have my hazelnut porter, hazel nuptials in front of me. We're pushing about 4% on this guy.
How much? How much?
Yeah, they're all four either 3.5, 3.8, or just over 4%.
Yeah,
all my beers are about 4%.
That's good, man. That's a smart move, especially
for the wedding, right?
Especially for the wedding. Especially for, well, is there also going to be hard booze and wine at your wedding?
There will be wine because not everyone drinks beer, but there's not going to be any actual liquor. Our wedding.
That's a safe bet.
From like 11 a.m. to like 6 or 7 p.m. So generally kind of early for most weddings. So if you need liquor, maybe grab a beer instead. Like,
that's a safe bet.
Yeah, we don't plan on having any real liquor there, but for those that do want to drink, we'll have beer and wine.
Do open bars really need to have like shots of Fireball at a wedding? Probably not. Probably like if you weighed that out, like all the weddings that had open bars and shots, probably more bad things happen than good. You know, like we're good with beer and wine. Like especially at my age, like we're fine.
Yeah, I mean,
nobody needs a Four Loko gummy drop shot at, last call.
Yeah, luckily,
in Rancho Santa Fe,
generally either picks one or the other. Excuse me. Cocktails are another thing. Yes, they are made up of hard liquor, but you generally drink it because it's the cocktail, not because of the liquor. At least that's what I would expect. So
I could debate that. I know what you're saying, but like when
right?
You're like some people. I'm a well guy. I've always been a well guy. People are like, hey, I'll take Jack and Coke. It's like, well, if you mix it with Coke, you're not going to taste the Jack Daniels at all. So when I go out and I vaguely drink, I never steer outside of beer because I consume things fast. I consume water. I'm on your hangover cure. For the record, for people who didn't drink or didn't listen to the podcast, really quick, Justin, 1 gallon of water the day before you start drinking?
I would say as much as you can technically handle. Now, if you're one that always drinks a bunch of water, you're probably good and may not even need to prep unless you're not big on eating heavy food.
That's me.
Yeah. So if you drink a lot of water already, it's probably already in your routine to drink a gallon or two. If that's the case, you're good. If you're someone like me that has trouble I don't have trouble drinking water, right? But I may have this is my go-to water bottle as of right now. It's 32 ounces. So I may drink one of these a day, maybe two. If I know I'm going to be drinking a lot, for instance, yesterday, I knew I was going to be drinking today. Over the last 2 days, I've probably had a gallon or two, which is big for me. If you already drink a gallon or two, maybe keep it the same. Like you may not need to do anything. Now, take that with a grain of salt. If you are someone that needs more water than I do, you probably just naturally need, I can get through what might be days without drinking a sip of water. That's not good. You want to drink water every day.
Excuse me.
But I can technically get through that. Some people may get headaches. They may get fatigued or some small signs of dehydration. Personally, I'm not that way. But if I know, like yesterday, I knew I was going to be drinking a bunch of beers today. So I was slamming some of these. I probably had 3 of these throughout the day. And then 1 or 2. I definitely finished this once today. I am about halfway through my second time today. So that's kind of a lot of water for me. If you already drink a lot of water, you're probably good. But if you're someone like me that doesn't always drink a gallon of water a day, definitely try to drink something like a gallon, if not 2 gallons of water the day before your heavy drinking day. And also keep drinking water during your drinking day. Don't just leave it at, you wake up, but you're good on water. No. Keep drinking water because you should probably have water around you at all times. But if you're doing something like this, try to grab some water. Do what I'm doing, double fisted if you need to. I'll drink 2-3 sips of my beer and then chug a little bit of water. Same thing the other way around. Do what you need to, but take it with a grain of salt. But always try to drink some water if you're going to be drinking the night before. I'm sorry, the night after. Try to drink some water if you're going to be drinking the next day.
It's 5 a.m. in Denmark right now. Shout out to Rasmus who made it here. Wow. Thanks for the chat.
Thank you so much.
Best place to be. Big shout out to CH and Justin. Great stream. It's 5 a.m. and the sun is getting up, man. I hope you do not have to go to work. That is some commitment, man. And again, I've always said I'm going to sound like a piece of shit right now, but I've heard of people that are actually talking about watching this and it's not like building up a buzz or anything, but a couple of people I would never expect asked me or told me that they've been listening to this. And here's how I break it down. It's all you guys. It's 25% me. It's 25% the guest, 25% Justin, but 50% the chat. Like that's how like this, the
It's
chat.
hard to do this without the chat.
The chat gives it like the pulse. The chat is like the heartbeat. It's like the mother.
It keeps it moving. Yeah, definitely. Like, because you could write down 15 things, and we can get to those 15 things.
Yeah.
But if the chat isn't busy, we're just gonna be talking to each other.
We're gonna be talking to each other. You know,
that's a whole other level.
right?
Yeah.
And it's like if something goes like, hey, like we're out of kind of ammo. You know, this is cool because it also brings back like how people used to talk. You know, like we're not face to face, but we're the next closest thing to that. You know, nowadays everybody just kind of hides behind a cell phone or a screen chat or a computer or something like that. And it's like, this is real. It's 25% me, 25% Justin or Apartment Brewer or Andy or everybody. Hell's Brews, Brew Show.
Yeah, there's a lot of
the Canadians, Jorge Castro down there in Puerto Rico, man. I wish you well, Braj. We'd love to have you on. And then I think the pulse of all of this is the chat. Is everyone going back and forth? It's
eventually it goes back to the community, right?
Yeast and the Beast. Yeah, it's it's like
and speaking to each other, and not even just like, look at this, Patrick D. How is the golf game? Like,
how is the golf game? Ask my dad. It's as bad as the day is long. It's it's plus 40 at a retirement communities course. But we were hanging out the other day. I don't know if my pops is still listening, but my cousin or my cousin-in-law, he's like, the worst day of golf is still your best day of work. And I was like, yeah, like people need to hone in like perspective. Like, is it really that bad? Is it really that bad? I've had jobs I've actually wanted some coworkers and bosses to die. Like Lundberg. Have you ever seen like
better off not around you? Yeah, both of you are better off.
Like people taking advantage of you, people asking to come in on Sunday, guys that are fucking dumb, but they're your boss, and you're just like, dude, the answer's right under your nose, and you're like, it takes you a while to figure this out. I fucking kind of wish you would die, not by me, but like, I'm sorry, man, but like some bosses I fucking have really hated, and I have no idea what I'm talking about right now. But if you've had shitty bosses like me, you'd all have a YouTube channel. You'd have a homebrew for life.
Luckily, I've told my managers as of late, but having my job now is completely different from any other job that I've had. My managers now are not even, I wouldn't even say that they were managers by any normal sense. In that, well,
Justin, you know.
In that normal sense.
If somebody is your boss and everybody knows rightfully so, I can look at somebody, I'm like, this guy's on my level, or this guy is way smarter than me, or this guy is way stupider than me. And if you have somebody that's stupider than you and they're your boss, it's a weird relationship. It's a very like, I'm not saying I'm smart, dumb, skinny, this and that. I'm just saying I have enough human evaluation to kind of call a spade a spade. But if you actually have a stupid guy making bad decisions, not telling you what to do, but just like, he's your boss and he's like, hey, we're going to go this route. And you're like, dude, you're fucking,
I would suggest otherwise.
You're the exact opposite of what like the best course of action would be. And that's why they make movies about it, like Office Space or, God, what's another like, I don't know, Ben Stiller from Happy Gilmore. Nah, that doesn't make sense. What's the movie where like, just can you come in on Sunday, or like can you just redo it, or like hands-on day?
A little bit like I'm sure there's another one.
Yeah,
it sounds a lot like Office Space.
And it's like I have friends that have to go through with that. They're like, hey, my boss thinks like if we wear a Hawaiian T-shirt on Friday, it's gonna like bring the customers' morale up. And I'm just like, you guys are insane. You guys are fucking psychotic.
I'm gonna slow you down on that part. At my last IT job,
if we give you a piece of cake,
our actual uniform, this is 100% true. I'm not even kidding. Our actual uniform was a Hawaiian shirt. A Hawaiian shirt and khakis. That was my IT uniform. So I was working for a small, what we call MSP.
That's cool to wear every day.
Yeah, it was great. I honestly loved it. Like, if you look through my closet right now, I've probably got like 9, 10, 15 different Hawaiian shirts that I would wear. I've donated some since having left that job, but I've kept a few. But I kind of dig Hawaiian shirts. I think it adds like not just like it's not only is it a shirt, but it's also a joke.
Right, but by default, if that's what you wear, that's cool. But if it's like, hey, like today we're gonna have like a Hawaiian theme, it's like what the hell? Like have you ever seen the movie Waiting? The guy Champ Bailey. He's like, hey, like how do you feel being like assistant shift manager with this? This guy's like, dude, I'd rather probably punch you in your face.
Yeah,
than like take like the promotion, you know, because I think you're fucking insane, you know. And it at the end of the day, it feels really good to work for a cool company. It feels really good to work for a cool company. Like that's
half my day doesn't feel like work. Yes, I am working.
That's a good job. That's a great job. That's a great job.
Like work. It feels like the hobby that I happen to get paid for. Like originally, I got into IT because I like computers. I like games. I like fixing stuff. I like helping people. All of these things kind of lead to IT, whether that's support work, like what I'm doing, or like engineering work, like building apps and websites for people. I can't necessarily do that, but I do like helping people. So fixing their problems is my absolute jam. And I love that.
And your job is ultimately like your life. And when I was 21 years old, I got a job at a winery in Napa called Floor Springs, and it was a good job. And I kind of shot myself in the foot because I kind of told everybody, like, I want to be in San Diego. And as soon as a job comes up, I want to be out of there. So when a promotion came up, they gave it to somebody else. No fault of my own. I blew it. But when I first got that job, I had a job, a 25-year-old kid making $16 an hour in a depression in 2008, 2009. I was the only person I knew. And I remember I worked like an 8-hour day out in Napa, and my commute was about an hour each way. And I came back and I went to the bar by myself. And this was one of the first times I've ever gone to a bar by myself. And the bartender was like the bartender from like Dumb and Dumber, like the Jim Carrey scene. He's like, hey, he's like, hey, you look good today. Like, what's going on? And I'm like, I just had a really good day. He's like, what's up? I'm like, yeah, I just graduated college and I got a job. And like, I just feel good. I put in like my 8 hours work. Customers were happy. The tasting room was clean. We sold wine. People left with smiles. And he's like, that's the key to life. And I'm like, what? He's like, your job. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, he's like, if you hate your job, you hate your like dog.
You hate everything.
You hate everything. You hate your wife. Like you hate your kids. Like you get fat. You hate like diets. You hate everything. If you like your job, like everything else is like this triforce of balance. Like if you like your job, like everything is like a better place. Like your relationships with people. And like, I'm 36. I got, I fluctuate in weight a lot, and that kind of plays into my psyche at my age. And it's like, I can kind of, if I like what I'm doing and I feel good and I'm not, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get up and I'm going to go run. Yep. If I hate my job, you know what I'm going to do? Probably be hungover and just keep drinking and eat fucking Cheetos and go to the bar and keep drinking by myself and probably just talk to a stranger. It's like, the job is like your kind of purpose in life. Like you're like your pinnacle. Like you can't. It's like Chris Rock says. Chris Rock said it best. Lose your job, lose your wife. Lose your job, lose your wife. Lose your job, lose your wife. And it's like good job, good wife. It's like that makes a lot of fucking sense.
Well, I'm a huge advocate for happy spouse, happy house. So like I try to. I mean, we both.
How to keep the spouse happy though? You gotta have that job.
I like to think that I know what makes her happy. I could be wrong. I'm growing every day, but I like to think that I can't. There's a lot of stuff that I can't do without her, and even in that, I'm not smart enough. I just don't know how, or what I am good at, she's better at the other thing. Like I can't do my YouTube thing if it weren't for her. Like yes, I don't necessarily need her permission in any sense, but it's really nice having her support. I think knowing that I can upload a video and that she's going to watch it and tell me what she thinks, or, hey, like before I upload this, can you watch my final draft and let me know that it's good? Like knowing that she's going to spend not just her time, but even like what would be money on this, like her, taking a time out of her day is huge. And that's why I always say, thanks for spending the time. Like on the surface, that's a little silly, but you don't get that time back. Like, you just visiting my channel, that's massive in my eyes.
The older you get, the more you're gonna appreciate time. Like what you just said, like
for sure.
I'm coming up on 40, and I'm just like, I've never been to like Paris. Like I've became an 85-year-old grandmother with earrings. Like I never went to Paris. Like that's where I'm at 36. You know,
like
and the grass is always greener. Like, do I want to have kids? 50-50. Does my girlfriend want to have kids? 0. And I'm like, do we break up? No. Our life is rad. You know, like our life is
exactly
fucking peaceful. Like we don't have really
happy partner,
problems.
Happy house, right? Like happy partner, happy house, right? Like it doesn't have to necessarily be a spouse necessarily. You don't have to necessarily be married or even committed in that sense. But like if the person that you're living with, if you both get along well,
NBC,
other, then what's the deal? We spend a lot of time together. We both work in the same office. I mean,
all I know is I'm going to show up to your house in 5 minutes, Justin. I'm going to show up to your house in 5 minutes right now.
Hey, you got a place to stay, my man. If you're in Austin, you got a place to stay. That's all.
I wish, man. That's the only thing. NBC.
Yeah, finish your thing. We can do it NBC.
All right. We're coming down to the wire. We got about half an hour left. We're doing a hard 9 o'clock these days. I don't know if Justin, does anybody have any questions or vice versa? Justin, like,
that's up to y'all. If you have any questions for me, please let me know.
Or Justin, you go both ways. Like I literally ask questions on this all the time, talking about shandies and radlers and stuff.
Yeah, I'm chilling. I'm an open book. All right,
I'm gonna go fill up a beer. Justin, you hold it down. I'm gonna pull my first homebrew for the night. BRB. Ned Healy. I'll be right back.
Yeah, so if you have any questions for me, feel free to ask. Again, I'm a 25-year-old home brewer in Austin, Texas. I grew up in Columbus, Georgia, which I almost promise you never heard of. I grew up in a small town in Georgia on the west side. I'm closer to Alabama than I am anything, or at least I used to be. It was about an hour and a half, 2 hours away from Atlanta, so I spent a lot of time in Atlanta growing up. But born and raised in Georgia. I've been in Texas for almost 10 years now. I do consider myself a Texan in most senses. I don't feel as though I have an accent, but I've been told that when I go home, I don't sound like I'm from Georgia. So there's that. I live with my absolutely lovely fiance, Alicia, who is shaking her head right now because I'm looking at her and she's not even looking at me. But hey, those types of things happen. It's also us two and our dogs. One of which is passed the hell out, and the other one is also passed out. So both of which are sleeping. It's nighttime for them. Let me see. How long have I been brewing? I have been brewing for about 2.5 years, which is very short in the grand scheme of things. But I started brewing as a kind of an addition. My sister said, "Hey, you should do this. What do you think?" And I said, "Sure, why not?" So she bought me a homebrew set from Northern Brewer, and I have not stopped brewing since. It's been awesome. I have an addictive personality in that once I find something that I latch onto, I can't stop. So especially if something like this that helps me learn that I'm like always growing. I've been playing video games for years, and I have not felt what I feel with homebrewing since starting playing video games. So if anyone that's a huge gamer knows that, like, once you get into it, it's really hard to get out, just because it's so fun. And you continue growing, and I like to think it makes me better as a person sometimes. So in that aspect, it's really hard to stop. So if you're one that also thinks like that, then you may know exactly what I'm talking about. Ned Healy, you said you lived in Columbus for about 5 years. That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. Most people I speak to don't know what Columbus, Georgia is. Despite being one of the larger cities in Georgia, people don't really know what it is. If you're outside of Georgia, there's only Atlanta, Savannah. Some people know what Augusta is, but only because there's also a New York Augusta or something like that. There's some other city that's super popular, or some other state has a popular Augusta. So that's really awesome. I don't find very many people that are also from Georgia, or at least lived in Columbus, Georgia. I sound like I'm from Cali. I've spent a little time out in California. My grandma lives out in California. My mom grew up in California, at least parts of California. Well, mostly on Guam. That's where mom is from. But my grandma lives out in California, so my mom spent a lot of time out there. I visited California a few times, and I absolutely love the environment and like the space that it offers. Let's see, what else do we have going on? Yeast, an addictive personality, and drinks alcohol. Yeah, it's not great. I definitely should drink less beer, especially over the last few days. Like this week, I've had arguably the most beer I've had in most weeks of my life. I'm not showing off. I do need to change that. I should definitely slow down on the beer drinking. Do I have a tilt? I don't. I do want to jump into the analytics of brewing just so that I can get some of the specifics down. I really want to see how my fermentation goes throughout the 2 weeks, 3 weeks that I have it fermenting, especially now that I have a fermentation chamber. I've considered either buying or building a tilt. I don't want to build one. I have the smarts, I have the technology, but I don't want to spend the time. I'd rather spend the money, to be honest with you. I'd rather drop $80 on a hydrometer than spend hours, like $30 and hours on something. I'd rather spend $80, to be honest with you. I'd rather just buy the hydrometer and have it shipped to my house and just calibrate it and then go from there. I've considered it. I've considered Northern Brewers tilt alternative, where it's an airlock. It's essentially a smart airlock that does the exact same thing as tilt hydrometers, but just a little bit less accurate. I try. I don't want to spend too much money doing the whole thing. I want to do a little bit. I wouldn't mind spending a little bit of money if it means like making some of my stuff better, but I don't want to spend too much, mostly because I've got a wedding to pay for. I've got other stuff going on. Like beer is huge in my life, but it's far from the biggest. My fiance, my house, my well-being, her well-being, my dogs, like these are things that my family, these are things that I'll spend more time and money on than anything else in the world. And my passions, my hobbies are always, my job, always second to that. All those things. They're not often only $80. I only said 80 as a kind of a buffer. I know that I've found some on sale on eBay for like $90 before taxes and shipping. So after that, it may come out to the 110, 115, 140, depending on what part of the states, what part of the world you live in. Adam, I kind of only mentioned $80 as a go-to so that I didn't have to stop talking while I was thinking about it. But here we are. Let's see what else. Tom, you said you love your tilt. And Yeast, you said you love your tilt. I've thought about getting one so that I can use tilt for the videos that I upload. So that I can say, hey, that this beer, it only took X amount of days to ferment. I really want to do that, but do I want just one? I'm afraid that if I buy one, I'm gonna want 5. Because I have like 5 fermenters in total. Am I always fermenting 5 beers in total? No. But I have like 5. I have like 5 buckets dedicated to fermenting. The others are for storage or brew day stuff. So I would be cool with having more than one, probably 2. Because in most cases, I will probably have 2 or 3 beers fermenting at once. 1 or 2, sometimes 3 beers fermenting at once. Let's see, what else do we have?
All right, here we go. Uno mas. Let's rock and roll.
So, T-Man, my very first Kvike beer that I brewed was actually god awful.
Am I back? Are we here? You guys hear me?
I tried to do yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, what's up? My dad bought this beer. Sorry, he paid for this last batch of beer. It's my black lager. It's with Cinnamar.
Yeah,
shout out to Pops. Right? He threw me a 20 spot on Venmo, man. Big ups to Wort Child.
T-Man in the chat was asking to hear of my Kvike story, so that's why I started.
All right, let's hear it.
The very first time I used Kvike yeast, I'm super impatient in real life. Generally, I'm cool with waiting for certain things. I'm super impatient. I do not do well with delayed gratification. My fiance and my mom, my siblings can attest to that. Not huge on waiting for stuff, which is why I like free stuff so much, because it just shows up. People are like, hey, I don't want it. Do you? And I would almost always say yes. But my first Kvike experience, I bought the yeast. I think it was Lalaman, maybe. It was in the gray and brown and black packet, you know. I don't remember what specifically who it was. I can see the packet in my head. But I tried to do a grain to glass in 7 days video, much like I saw the Homebrew Challenge do. I've seen other videos or other channels do like a 7-day grain to glass. I tried that. It did not work. Long story short, it was supposed to be a peach IPA. I'm trying to perfect a peach IPA. Again, I'm from Georgia, so like I was trying to
Georgia.
Georgia. My go-to recipe, what I would be known for, would hopefully be an IPA, right? A peach IPA. I tried using Kvike for it. I was going for a, I don't think it was a smash recipe, but it was a like 1 or 2 hop
5 more beers.
IPA that I was going for. Long story short, it did not go well. I don't know what happened, but some part of the fermentation did not go in my favor, and it just turned out absolutely awful. I've got a YouTube video on it. I forgot what I ended up calling the YouTube video, but I did try a grain to glass in 7 days. Eventually, it took me like 4 weeks for the beer to get good because it was just chalky and grainy and awful for a long time until I filtered it like 3 times over, and then eventually it turned out okay. It wasn't even an IPA anymore. It was just it was what I called a peach blonde based on BJCP guidelines, just based on guidelines and the taste and flavors that you got out of it. It was not an IPA anymore. It was a peach blonde. And that when it got there, it was not bad. I actually enjoyed drinking the peach blonde that was supposed to be a peach IPA, but the first like 7-8 pulls were god awful. I've got a picture in the video, so if you check my channel and look for that, I don't remember what it's called right now, but I do have a video about my very first Kvike experience. Ned Healy saying happy hour Jusbrewing is holding it down. Thank you, Ned. I'm familiar with live streams, whether watching or being a part of one. So it kind of I won't say comes naturally, because I did have to learn how to play off of the chat, how to play off of someone else in a video, or in this case, a live stream. So it came with experience, but I like to think that I'm doing well. You've got Kurt Pick. You have Omega Lutra sitting in Amber right now. Tell me how that goes. DM me on Instagram, or even just in my channel description is my channel's email. So feel free to email me if that's easier for you. I'm very much considering Omega Lutra Kvike as a regular yeast. Not even just Kvike for super fast turnaround, but just a regular clean fermenting yeast that I think is super flexible these days. TA, you said you were in Sonoya, Georgia, and had a blood orange IPA. I very much love blood orange beers, specifically Blood and Honey out of Texas. It's by Revolver, which is owned by Anheuser-Busch. So it's essentially big beer, but it's big beer's attempt at craft beer. Super popular here in Texas. It turns out I like blood orange Belgian type beers. It works really well. Goose Fraba, you're asking if
Goosey Frabbies.
I've dumped probably 3 beers in total over my homebrew experience, which is kind of low, all things considered.
There's the goose right here. This is the goose logo. You check it out.
It'll show up for me in like 5. But I've dumped a few.
Lion
my very
hops.
first beer that I dumped was you know what it was? It was a Hefeweizen that I tried to brew on a recipe I came up with on a whim. And I got my numbers mixed up, and it tasted god awful. It was watery banana water, and it was not great. Elementary, I've learned that just because it can be done doesn't mean it's good. I can get beer done in 7 days easy, but they start tasting better. Oh, definitely. The IPA that I was just drinking, I kegged last week. At first, it was absolutely amazing. It was textbook. It was exactly what I wanted. Again, it's a smash IPA using Maris Otter and Eldorado. I really like Eldorado hops. I may switch it for the wedding, but I'm still kind of on the fence of that. But I love Maris Otter as a grain, and especially as a base malt, and I love Eldorado as a hop, but I may swap it. It tasted better today than it has the entire time it's been on tap. That being said, I loved it fresh. When it was green, it was absolutely amazing. It got kind of more textbook IPA and more bitter than like juicy and flavorful than I wanted. I didn't want to turn people off with just IPA, because I know seeing that on a menu, so to speak, would turn some people off. But I wanted to make sure that it was juicy. I didn't do any bittering hops. It was only a 20-minute or 30-minute addition, and like 5 ounces as a Whirlpool. No, it was like 3 ounces as a Whirlpool and 3 ounces as a dry hop. Like, it was almost nothing as bittering, but it was still really bitter green. That's probably just because of hop burn. It's tasted better. Today it's tasted better than it ever has on tap over the last week and a half. Who else do we have? Let's see, tickling in the stream decks.
Justin, it's hard to keep up with the chat. Dude, Mike tried to do it one night. It was just like, 70-30, rice holes. It's tough.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Justin, you can't keep up with every chat. You got to like.
I read almost every single one. I read at least like 4 or 5 words of every chat that comes up.
It's tough. Like you got to give it a little bit, but also take like. It's good to have a couple minute, kind of spiel, but
Well, luckily YouTube does the thing where like you're when someone asks you, you're highlighted, so it's really easy to see when someone's speaking directly to you. Now that being said, some people just, for me, say at JUS, they'll just say Justin, they'll just say who I am or whatever. They'll
Speaking
just
of which, how many subscribers we at you now, bro? I'm gonna guess 214. I'm gonna guess 214.
214. That's a lot to assume. I am seeing 206 on my side.
Oh, that's not good.
Please tell me otherwise, but I'm seeing 206.
206. Hold on, I can work some CH magic.
Hey, I'm cool. Hey, I'm not doing it for the subscribers. I'm doing it for fun. Of course, seeing
but
is fun.
If you're putting in all this effort, it's like you want it to have some exposure.
You asked, but I don't think I ever ended up answering you. I do edit my own videos, so as of right now, I don't have an editor. I've had a little bit of experience editing videos just in my personal life. As I mentioned, my dad is he's in the Army. He's also in the trucking industry. And he's got a brand called Driver's Lanes. I'm not plugging that by any means, but he does have a radio show in which he speaks on the woes, ups and downs of the trucking industry. Not terribly beer related, as you can imagine, but I did do some video editing for him when he's wanted some videos. I uploaded a video for him once. Stuff like that. I did have a Minecraft YouTube video channel back in the day when I was in high school.
You brought that up on the podcast. That's
yeah. So that's what originally where my content creation started. Where
PewDiePie.
I like it. Yeah, exactly. I've got a little bit of experience editing videos. Now, if you watch my videos, it's very basic, but you get what I want you to get. I have relatively high standards as someone who has, a low subscriber count and not that great editing prowess. I'm not an expert by any means, but I do enjoy uploading videos, and I'm not going to upload it if I don't want to watch it myself. If I'm not willing to click the video myself, I'm not going to upload it. That's
how I am. Like you watch your outtakes, you're like, if you laugh at your own jokes, you're like, okay, that stays in. Yeah, if I'm bored, it's out. It's out. Yeah.
I probably scrapped 3 videos, and granted, again, I haven't even been YouTubing for a year on this channel. I've probably scrapped 3 videos, which is a big number, from just not being happy. Like I started editing. I'm not sure if you've poked around my channel enough just yet, but I did. Myself and my fiance, we started doing blind taste tests, which we absolutely love. We love that series, so we're probably going to do another one soon, at least probably when we get back. But I've got a 3rd episode that I've been editing. I was editing, but I just was not happy with my performance. I'm okay with failing on camera. I'm okay with not doing great. That's not the issue. I just don't think that I performed well enough to where I would be willing to show this video. I did have a photography friend sit in on the recording session just to make sure that the quality was there. And the quality was. He helped with the lighting. He helped with the camera angles and the cuts and stuff like that, and as to what I should and shouldn't do. But all that being considered, I was just not happy with the way I answered some of the questions. Again, I'm okay with being wrong. Actually, I enjoy being wrong because it's an opportunity to be right. But I don't want to embarrass myself in front of what I could consider my audience. So I haven't gone about uploading that video. I probably won't. But I think we're just going to redo it, but with, of course, different beers to kind of hold the sanctity of the blind taste test template that we have.
All right, we got an NBC from Pops. That's actually NBC, my dad. Yeah, that's kind of a guilty NBC. It's my Pops, but we got to do it. An NBC's an NBC.
Yeah, of course. Big shouts. Thank you, Pops, for dropping another 20 there.
What did we drink to? I always drink to the blood of our enemies. Pick them up, put them down full. I don't know.
I don't have very many enemies, but I'll drink to the blood of people.
That's like Lord of the Rings shit.
I'm not out of breath.
What do they say?
Tyler Kipping.
What do they say in are you getting trolled? Tyler.
No, he just asked if I was out of breath for just railing the camera for railing the mic for 1 or 2 minutes.
What do they drink for in Groundhog's Day?
I have not actually seen it. I know what it's about.
What?
I have not seen Groundhog Day. Yeah, sorry. Hopefully that doesn't ruin the rapport I've built over being the young guy in the
Audio street cred. No, I'm just kidding, man. But they always he like replays every date. Like, what do you drink for? What do you do? What do you like? What do you study in college? Like, and he's got it down to a T. He's always like cheersing. What do we drink? How do we figure this out? I think.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, ultimately he's trying to get laid. The movie's about a guy trying to like.
Oh.
Yeah, the movie's
I didn't know
genius.
that.
Oh.
I thought it was about a guy who was like stuck in a time loop. Isn't it a time loop movie?
Both.
Oh, it's
Both.
a time loop movie about a guy
Both.
trying to get laid during a time loop. I get
Both.
it. Okay, that sounds interesting. That sounds really good. Like 4 or 5 beers in. Add it to the list. You got it, Photo Kevy. I will. I do have a list, and I will add it.
Groundhog Day, like you're not like.
It's a classic, right? Like,
oh yeah,
everyone has seen that. I'm the only person ever, right?
Yeah, you're the only person here who hasn't seen that. Put that on. You have a list of what to do. I have a list of what to do in the background. Erase all of it and put on watch Groundhog Day. And Groundhog Day,
yeah, in all caps.
Justin, you know when people are like, you watch this movie and it gets funnier and funnier and funnier. You watch Dumb and Dumber. You watch whatever.
You just notice other things. Yeah,
you know, just this is the movie that created that.
Okay.
This is the movie that created that. Because you try to figure out, like, it's a guy that's probably lived. He's stuck in this day for 10,000 days. So he ultimately thinks like, I should become a god. You know, like he's 40 years old.
Know everything. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a weatherman in the East Coast, stuck in traffic all the time. He's like down and out. And one day, like, he wakes up and it's Groundhog's Day, and then it's Groundhog's Day again. Then he's like, he goes through this patch of like, I'm gonna kill myself, and then he goes through a patch of like, hey, I'm actually gonna try to be a better person. Like, I'm gonna try to go like learn piano. I'm actually gonna try to like help an old lady step off something, or like I'm gonna make people's lives better. And he gets to the point where he thinks he's a god. And I'll leave it up to that. I'm not gonna. I probably just did spoil it, but.
Well, I'm sure there's many, many things. If you said watch it over and over and over again.
I still to this day, like, they probably filmed this movie in 4 scenes. There's like a downtown park. There's like a bed and breakfast in probably, I don't know, New York or Philadelphia. It's definitely East Coast, like without question. Mm-hmm. And there's like a little diner. And other than that, it's like whoever directed it or wrote it. It's just a movie that's like, it's kind of like they should probably teach this movie in like college classes on cinema. Like, I bet you don't need a big budget. Like cinematic classes. Yeah, like the movie Clerks, one of my favorite movies, Clerks with Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith.
My God.
Right, 24-year-old kid.
I remember being like 13 years old watching that on Adult Swim,
right,
or whatever.
Just knowing like you don't need these Michael Bay explosions. You don't need these like $20 million actors. It's like people can relate to this art.
Good writing. All you need is good writing. And
all you need is good writing. Yeah. You know, and people that are in customer service can relate to Clerks. It's like you go up to the counter, you're like, hey, do you guys rent movies? And like right behind them, it's like movie rentals. You know, it's like people in customer services relate to that because it's true. Like that's
when I was that's before I got into IT, I was in sales, right? So I sold cars for a few years. I sold furniture.
How is how is that? How is selling?
I could go on and on. Actually, okay.
Well, I want to hear it because my friends sell cars and they make a ton of money.
I was working for a very good dealership, and a good dealership in that there was no scamming involved. It was a Christian dealership. I'm not one for religion these days. I'd say if anything for the live stream,
I'm Jehovah's Witness.
But
I was the
really?
witness of. No, I'm not. Cool. I'm not Jehovah's Witness. I didn't witness Jehovah's Witness. I'm just being
either way. But they.
I don't think anybody was the witness for that. But anyway, all right. I want to hear this.
That's a really good point. But yeah,
I know, who was the witness
these days?
Who was it?
Yeah, they were a super Republican Christian dealership, but they had their values were in the right place. The other two things I can kind of be. I'm not going to agree with you on a lot of that stuff. But the points that they were sticklers on were in the right place. They cared about people, which is huge. They did not care about losing money, which was huge. And they liked, I mean, in this case, people like me. I had no experience.
Bernie Sanders.
Because they liked me.
No. We have a donation.
Yeah, shout out to the 149 from Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders.
But
all right,
I worked for a dealership for about 3 years. I was in service for about 4 or 5 months, and got promoted along the way. And eventually, we made my way into sales as part of a goal that I had. But made my way into sales.
They make the most money.
I actually liked it.
They make the most money.
In service, they make the most consecutive money, or consistent money, rather.
Consistent money. Okay.
Yes, because if you're in service for 3-4 years, like, you get people coming back to you, assuming you're good at it. They come back to you because they know you're good at it. Not only are you good at your job, but you're good at working with people.
These are people out of warranty. These are people that are out of warranty? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, either way, right? So some people were either, like, the people that did have consistent customers they've just been doing it for 10 years. So anytime they needed an oil change, whether it was a vehicle that we sold or not, they were coming to this person because they've been buying cars.
It's like an insurance salesman for your whole family forever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. If you're good enough at something like this, you're gonna get those referrals and, like, all kinds of other business from that. And it's a similar catch on car sales. I didn't hate car sales. I liked it. I was good at it. But I was 19 years old when I was doing it.
That's gnarly, bro. That's gnarly, bro.
Yeah, so some people really liked seeing the young guy come in and do something like this. Now, granted, I wasn't selling 20, 25, 30 cars when I first started. I was selling, 6, 7, 8, which is still kind of a big deal. Like, I was outselling some people that had been doing it for 20 years. That's just because I'm a young guy. I know what I'm doing. I'm good at sales. I'm charismatic. And I work well with people. Like, I could sell I'm not going to say I could sell anything because I'm not big on definites, so like 100%, but I was damn good at selling stuff. Anyway, I didn't hate it. I learned a lot of stuff. And that sales background, I think, is what helped me get to where I am now. Because when I was getting into IT,
it's people life.
The company that hired me saw that I had been a bartender, a server, a trainer, a salesman, doing all this stuff, and I was always doing it for somebody else. They're like, obviously, you like taking care of other people, whether that's fixing their problems, getting them drinks, telling them how they can fix their car, or helping them getting out of the one that they're in and getting into a new one. These are all things that people need.
Yeah.
So my bosses at the time were like, that's absolutely amazing. And the fact that you're, like, willing to get into an industry like this is only going to help you. And I like to think that it did.
For sure. You're going to grow up. You're going to grow up real fast. Like, if you're selling cars at a dealership, you're going to grow up real fucking.
Oh yeah.
You're going to understand people's emotions and bullshit. And
I was good at upselling. I was good at, like, negotiating. Now, granted, I wasn't selling anything, but I was like, hey, this computer is really old and your job would be easier and you would hate it less if you got a new one. People love that. Like telling them, granted, a lot of the times it wasn't that person buying it anyway. It was the company that they work for paying for it. So what do they have to lose? So, like, it was just a lot of back and forth of, I personally think that you would benefit from this. I think you should do it. And then they would.
My best friend on planet Earth is the only person on planet Earth that I am afraid of. I mean, obviously, like, I'm afraid of a lot of people in the media, and I'm not going to fight, Evander Holyfield or Mike Tyson. Nope. People that I know in my real, like, life world outside of when I turn off the TV or put the phone down. My best friend is the number one salesman in San Diego, and it doesn't matter if it's Kia or Cadillac or whatever. When I listen to him talk about, like, the psychology of car sales, it is the most interesting thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Like, we'll be at a party and he will be talking, and my dad knows it's Gavin, and my dad can vouch. He is the gnarliest human specimen I've ever, like, you could legitimately, like, tell him no 400 times and it won't faze him, and he's still going to have, like, the hottest girl at the party with the nicest car. And it's just like a different, and he's also the funniest guy that I know. He's the funniest guy I know.
Like a good guy to know.
He's dude. If you ever want to get a car for, like, half off, I know the guy.
I'll keep that in mind because I do like.
Justin, come out here. Come out to San Diego.
Cars. I'm a car guy. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'm a pretty good guy to know, just to know this guy. And I was like, hey,
what do you drive? What do you drive, CH?
Me, a 1996 Toyota Tacoma. But my whole goal.
What do you wish you could drive?
Nothing. I think nothing. I think
Tacomas are nice though. They'll last forever if you take care of them.
I've never looked at cars as anything other than A to B. I think that nice cars only get you laid in 80s movies. I think I think cars are the ultimate compensation of a human psyche. If you're if you have to get a big giant truck, it's like, your dick is small or you're gay or like something's
I'm not
up.
getting a big old truck.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. When I was selling, I was working at a Dodge dealership, so that's Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. Everything that I was selling. So I'm always gonna upsell the guy that wants the Ram truck, the one with the 1500 with the 6-inch lift and the 30s. Like I'm gonna sell you. Like please come in. Like if that's what you want, I would sell it to you. Like I have no preference.
A car hides a lot of stuff. You can tell a lot by a car hides a lot of shit. A lot of shit.
I'm not one for. I mean, don't get me. I am a little flashy in that I like nice things. But I'm not gonna spend $1 million trillion on a car. Now, I might spend $1 million trillion on a classic car because I think classic cars.
That's a hobby, though. That's a hobby. Like that's something was grandfathered in. Like like the value of that. If you're like
just buy a classic car.
No,
you have to buy it and fix it and get it up and get it right.
No,
you can't just buy one.
And guys that are like, hey, I'm gonna buy like the brand new Acura or BMW or all this shit. It's like, nah. That's because you're fucking your penis is the size of a Christmas tree light.
Well, trust me,
that's not gonna get you the girl. It's gonna make it weirder when you get the girl, and she's gonna be like, hey, I got in your car. I thought you had it all figured out. You're like, what? What?
I've seen NBC in the chat too many times not to take one. I feel bad now. Yeah, NBC with the quarter, the 1/4 of 1/5 of a beer that I have left.
Hey, did the Padres win tonight or lose tonight? 80s cars or nice cars were an 80s movies theme.
That would the nice cars and the short shorts. I'm all about
that. Wouldn't work.
Give me a pair of short shorts and a nice car. Give me the old Porsche.
Dude, hey, I have friends in high school that have nice cars or whatever. It's like they know don't bring CH around because I'm just gonna rip you apart and
make fun of them. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like my dad has like a brand new Acura, or like a brand new Lexus. Like I'm not gonna make fun of my dad, or am I? I don't know.
I can't make fun of your dad either. I can't either, so.
I think when you actually... I think what makes you appreciate cars is when you work on cars. Like if you're like... I would... Yeah. Hey, in no way and shape am I a mechanic. I'm not a mechanic. But I can do... I did my oil change. I can do my brakes, my rotors. I can pretty much do everything. I will do everything except anything engine work or transmission work. Or other than that, I will do everything. Once you start
body work, I'm not replacing my own bumper.
I don't care about my body. I don't have air conditioning.
That's a good point.
I will go to my grave without ever having air conditioning. My car is going to outlive me, and I've said that since day one. All I'm saying is like, wouldn't it even be sexier if you dated a girl or a guy that they were like, hey, they were in their like garage working on their car or like
that'd be pretty great,
right?
Like they were just like, "Hey, hold on, I'm not ready for our date yet. Let me click because I got grease all over my. Let me step inside."
Padres lost again. God damn, Justin,
let's do this. Let's do this NBC. We have to do this NBC.
I got nothing. All right. Well, I got this much left. This doesn't really count as an NBC, but I can do it.
I'll slam it, and then I'm gonna.
All right. Slam
quotes, drain the main vein.
You got to drain it, baby. It's the mainest vein of the mainest veins. All right, rock and roll. Here we go.
All right.
Justin, I went to La Costa Canyon. I'm not.
Hold on. I have to get another beer, and I have to drain the main vein. Give me.
All right, you go first because I gotta go too. All right, I'll try my best.
Hold down the chat. I'll go first.
Jay Reynolds on the mic like Moses, baby. All right, how many people have we got here? We still got 52. We got one more beer left. Metro beer. The weird thing about baseball and the weird thing about the NFL is that winning percentage is super different. It's super, super, super different. Like a lot of NFL teams go 14-2. Brian, I need you out there. Elementary Bruco. What is your winning percentage if you're 14-2? If you're 14 out of 16? Is that still like an A minus or a B plus? Baseball, all you need is like 6.5 out of 10. Which on paper is like a D. It's like a D plus. Baseball is so weird. Like even the best teams, like the New York Yankees, lose like 40% of their season. It's so weird. Thelonious Monk. Is my dad still here? Don't tell my dad. Don't tell my dad we're here. Don't tell my dad I'm here.
Back off, War Child. Seriously.
Chat, you want to pop on? Should we do an after hours? I don't know if it's going to work. I talk a fuck ton. Justin talks a fuck ton. I think either I have to get booted or we got to do like a late night. All right, what are we talking about? Stage, so
if I may, I recently got into labels.
Hold on. No, keep talking. But I'm trying to figure out, Brian. It's a game of losing percentages. Brian from Elementary Bruco is exactly right. He's exactly right. All right, Rasmus is here. PH, where's my dad?
But I've recently gotten into labels, right? I found beerlabelizer.com.
Hold it down. I'll be right back. Hold it down, Brunch.
Yeah, I'll talk to the chat. So if you have any questions, feel free to throw them in here. But for now, I'm going to show you a label that I made. Hopefully it's not reversed for you like it is for me, but it's Brown Bessie, a chocolate milk stout. Chocolate milk stout being, or Brown Bessie being, Bessie is often the name of a generic cow. And Brown Bessie being that it's a brown cow because that's where chocolate milk comes from, and you know it. But I found beerlabelizer.com, which is a super popular homebrew beer label company that helps like with templates for beers. Really, really, really simple. But yeah, one more time, a look at the label. Thank you, Photo Kevy, for thinking that you like it. I mean, for liking it. It is a template, so I did do the rest. But like these bars here with the color that I chose, the template is theirs. Everything else is mine. So the color, the words, the name of the beer, me with my name on the bottom in Austin, Texas, and the ABV and that kind of stuff is all generic. But for the most part, they gave me the template and I filled it out. I really, really, really like it. And I've been using Beer Labelizer I split my batches. So when I package, so I will ferment for about 2 to 3 weeks, and then I will keg about 2/3 of it, and I will bottle that last third, or keg half and bottle half. In this case, I would bottle like 20 beers, I think is my set limit, where I will just take 20 bottles, clean, sanitize, get a bunch of, print out the labels, get the caps for it, usually about 20 beers. But Brown Bessie is one of a few beers that I did and labeled. I also brewed what was supposed to be a Belgian triple. I did live stream that. So if you check the live stream, you will see me brewing that. But I couldn't actually get the beer that I wanted. I was expecting a Belgian triple, an orange triple. And I was going to call it, actually, I don't remember what my original name for it was. But to make a long story short, it didn't ferment all the way out, and I wasn't able to get the 9-10% that I was expecting, or like the 8-9% I was expecting. I got like 5 or 6. I don't really remember, but it didn't ferment all the way out, so it was more a Belgian white. A citrus white is what it was. But still very Belgian. I called it Golden Hour. It worked great. I've got a label for it around here somewhere, but I've labeled a few. Big shouts to Jay Reynolds. I don't know that you have a channel or anything like that, but Jay Reynolds in the chat did help me with one of my live streams. Jay Reynolds named Hazel Nuptials. So huge shouts to them, because I would not have named that beer without them. Let me go ahead and see if I can get this a good pour on camera. I don't generally drink out of the bottles or even cans. I almost always try to put it in the glass because that's what the brewer intended generally. So let me see if I can get a good a pour on camera. Yeah, perfect. Okay, maybe not. So it is a milk stout in that there's lactose in it. I added lactose during the boil. But again, I'm pretty sure I live streamed this beer too. So feel free to check my channel for that. Do I brew anything besides the beer? Brew show? I don't actually. And that's only because I don't drink mead. I don't drink ciders or anything like that. If something came to mind and I decided to, I definitely would.
Good morning.
But as of right now,
you're getting a brush.
I'm not a huge fan of cider or mead or wine. I've almost considered brewing or fermenting some wine for the wedding, but I'd rather put my focus on the beer. I haven't considered brewing anything else. I may first, just to see what it's like, and then if I like it, maybe upload a video. But to answer your question, Trev, I have not brewed anything other than beer.
Lactose is the devil, Tom.
I'll work the
Jay
chat. Reynolds. You said barking backyard brewery back. Wow, say that 5 times fast. Barking backyard brewery is Jay Reynolds' YouTube or Instagram. I definitely will follow because Jay Reynolds, again, thank you a lot for your helping me name the beer. Ned Healy, you said it looked good. Thank you. I could have done better there. It holds it a little bit better. I use carbonation drops for my bottles. So if you have questions about that, let me know. But I use carbonation drops for that. Yeast and the Beast, you asked. You said, didn't I say I'm lactose intolerant? I'm pretty much lactose intolerant. Yes. Most cheese will mess me up. Pizza almost definitely does. I've gotten used to it to where I don't care anymore for pizza and nachos. Those are the biggest exceptions that I make. I absolutely love pizza and I love nachos. So those are the 2 things, especially at a baseball game. What? Are you kidding me? Dude, I don't even care that I'm lactose intolerant or that like it messes up my stomach. I really do not care when it comes to those 3 things. Baseball games, and nachos and pizza. Like we have pizza maybe once every other week or so. Austin, Texas, we've got a really good pizza joint called Home Slice Pizza. Some of the best New York style pizza you can get in Austin, if not the best. Love it. It always messes up my stomach. Like I regret it the next day, but while I'm eating it, fantastic. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I'm supposed to slow down on lactose just because it will have me like I'll wake up at 7 a.m. like 3 hours before I need to do any real work, and I'll be stuck in the bathroom. Like I'm not gonna leave it like go any further than that because I'm pretty sure anyone that's listening right now can pick up what I'm throwing down. But yeah, those things happen. I'm an adult, so I really don't care anymore. I have a phone. What's the point? Like it's not gonna matter. But it's just one of those things. I try not to overdo it, but I will suffer if I want to. Oops, actually, I just realized, T-Man, you were asking for the link to the beer labels that I use, not my website. So let me redo that. I don't know what took over me there. My fingers just kind of started typing, which doesn't always happen. But there's the at T-Man. There's your the link. It's just beerlabelizer.com. Keep in mind, if you're going to do that, if you're going to use Beer Labelizer for your homebrew beers, your labels, they're not in the US. So T-Man, if you are in the US, it may take you 6-8 weeks to see your labels. That's how long it took me. I do print them out on my printer. So I create the template that I want. In this case, what you saw, the label that you see, I created it and just printed it out. So if you buy their I did buy their subscription for like $8 because you can essentially use any of their templates opposed to for free. You can just use like 4. With $8 once, you can use any of their templates as many times as you want, and you can print them out instantly, either as at your printer or you can download a PDF and print it elsewhere, whether it's like at a place that has bigger printers and like higher quality printers, whatever. Do what you want. Or you can buy high-quality, waterproof, reusable stickers from their website, which may cost you, $1 per label or like 45 cents a label. It's not crazy expensive. It's worth it, in my opinion. It just takes too long. Like if I bottle a beer, it's going to take 2 weeks for me to know what the ABV is. Or I'll brew it, print it out, or I can't even get the ABV. I can't print the label until I'm bottling it because that's when I'll know the ABV. It's a whole thing. And then like if you do the stickers, it will show up like 6 weeks after that. So it was a whole thing. I ended up printing out my own because I got tired of waiting for the label, the stickers, and then putting the stickers on after I got the beer. After I got the labels. So it was a whole thing. If you're going to use beerlabelizer.com and you're in the US, I would recommend having a very good printer and good printing paper. That way you can print out high quality labels.
All right, we got one more beer. We're coming down to the wire. We finally did it. Justin, does this feel like this was 3 hours? It goes by fast,
no.
right?
Yeah,
it goes by fast, right?
Yeah, time flies when you're having fun.
All right, it goes by fast. Justin, do you have any questions for anybody? Do you have, like I came into this thinking like I was Johnny, had it all figured out. I learned so much from the chat. If any homebrew questions do you have? They will let you know, Brouch. There's 50 people watching.
I've only recently gotten into fermentation temperatures, and I'm mostly doing ales. Again, I don't plan on doing any real lagers because I'd rather use that space in my fermentation chamber for something else, especially if I'm going to be lowering the temperature as often as lagers require. So I'm not going to do that. But if you have recommendations for ale temperatures, my plan right now is to leave it around 66, 68, just so that the beer that's fermenting can hover just below 70. That's my plan. So, I mean, there's a few things, but if you have suggestions on fermentation temperatures for your most generic type styles of beer, I mean, I'll brew just about anything as long as it's something that I'll drink. I'm not gonna brew it if I'm not gonna drink it, because it's me and my fiance. We're gonna be the ones stuck with it. So like if either of us aren't interested, I'm not gonna brew it. I'm super cool with brewing just about anything else other than that, because I will probably drink anything other than that. But I don't have the patience for. I just do not have the patience for lagers. I don't know about you, CH. I do not have the patience. Adam Fish is saying just pressure ferment. I've thought about fermenting in the keg. I'm not going to buy a pressurized fermenter, one that's rated for pressure. Now, if like Firmzilla wants to reach out and say, hey, like we'll just send you an all-rounder, definitely, I'll take it. But I'd rather just do a 3-gallon batch in one of my spare corny kegs. Like I don't have to spend any extra money any more than I already did on the keg. And I already do 3-4 gallon batches anyway, so I have the space. It's just a matter of I've got a Spunden valve. I just don't know how to use it. It's weird. I've hooked it up and like tried twisting it to like set it so that only 5 pounds of pressure is in it. I haven't figured it out yet. So I may need to do some research on it a little bit more and maybe make sure that it's in good shape, because it could have just showed up bad. Like those things happen.
Right on. So that's it. We're gonna start breaking it apart. We're gonna do a Wednesday night, and then we're gonna start doing I think a Sunday night with Photo Kevy. Check out Justin. He's on Instagram. He's on YouTube. Pretty much for the most part, his handles are all the same. It's all justbrewing.com. And
my website, justbrewing.com. My merch store, it can be found in my website. But if you'd rather just go straight to the merch store to see what I have, justbrewing.com/merch. Will get you right there. Any and all proceeds from my channel and website and merch store are all going to go to charity. As of right now, I have no interest in making money from my YouTube channel or this hobby that I have. Do I spend a bit of money and time on it? Yes, but I'm not interested in making money off of it. The same way I don't want to make money off of playing video games or doing any other silly stuff that I spend my time on. I don't want to make any money off of that if money comes from it. So if you do end up buying something from my merch store or sending me a donation at justbrewing.com, I'll probably either put it right back into my channel, so it'll just go to my next recipe, or it's going to go to a charity. If you have one in mind, just email me saying, hey, I just bought this shirt. Here's my order number. I'd like my money to go here. I'll make it happen. This is money that comes from, if anything comes from my YouTube channel, it's not making its way into my bank account. I can guarantee you that.
You're a philanthropist, Brush. You're a philanthropist, man.
Yeah,
I respect that. I respect that more than you can fucking know. Yeah.
I mean, even like when I mentioned the super chat that I gave you, like giving Homebrew for Life.
You tried to pay for the whole thing, but
I did.
YouTube declined it.
YouTube said no. They said you can't send 215 or 220 or whatever it was, but you can send 100. So I was like, fine. I thought about sending it both, but whatever. I was.
Justin, you're a good dude, man. You fucking.
I try to be.
You're a good dude. You have a good heart, and you got good work ethic. Like things are gonna go your way in life. As long as you don't drink 21 shots in fucking New Orleans, my ass. You that happens once and once only.
I did the 21 shots on my 21st. Not gonna happen again, especially not anymore. I can't. I mean, I don't get hungover these days, especially since.
That'll happen, bro. That'll happen.
Eventually, yeah. Give me some time. I'll text you.
6'2", 160, man. I mean, keep that 160 frame. You're gonna be fine. Drink a gallon a day, and you're gonna be sitting pretty.
Yeah, but my fiance and I are looking to get back into shape and stuff. Mostly for the wedding. We're gonna be hanging out on beaches on the other side of the world for a honeymoon. So the plan is to continue, to make sure we look good for that,
I hear you, man. Well, hey, we're going to cut out. That's it. Just Brewing. Check them out. It's YouTube channel hit 200 subscribers tonight. We're all having a good time. Shout out to everybody that's here. Kurt Pick, T-Man, Rasmus.
Are we hanging out in the Discord? What's going on?
We'll go to Discord.
The beer here.
Yeah, we're going to go to the Discord right now. Someone might pull up a chat for Mario Kart, something like that, or bring it over to Twitch. But thanks for being here. Justin,
yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, I couldn't be
Oh,
here.
no,
if
no,
you
no, no.
didn't,
Yeah, no,
comment
Justin.
on my video that one time.
Justin, it's literally the chat that, keeps everybody here.
Also true, yeah.
Goose Fraba, Yeast and the Beast. This is it. You guys heard it. We're going to kill it right now. I think that, tomorrow YouTube will probably upload it and people will watch this 3-hour podcast, enjoy the chat. When we do 5 or 6 hours, it's way different.
For
Nobody's
sure.
going to
As
sit through
someone
that.
that's done the 4-hour, 5-hour videos.
Right.
You've seen my channel. I've got them on there.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
worry. I know what it's like.
Oh, it's you got to kind of figure out ways to keep people around. This is it for this. We're going to go over to Discord. Check it out. Check out Jusbrewing. He's got a website. He's got Instagram. He's got YouTube. That was it. Justin, thank you for your time, Brush.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'll see you guys in the Discord. I'm
See you on
not
Discord
quite
right
done
now.
just yet. I've got a little. I mean, the sun
Justin,
is
don't
gone,
go any.
but my
Justin,
day's
don't
not
go.
over, so-
Justin, don't go anywhere. I'm just coming right
Yeah,
now.
well,
Don't go